the CQC, the sidearm just doing so much damage, the thrust paired with it, and he's able to just hit such a high DPS count there that he takes down 3 almost by himself.
I mean, I know Centenegra are a good team, Wes, but they're making it look a little bit too easy at the moment. Just straight mowing him down. Johan has 20 kills to his name with 7 deaths, so he's making work off the little opportunities he gets. And Nebula, of course, going to try to stay alive here in this situation. Like you said, time is not the issue, but 4-0 in the flags. They cannot afford another mistake at this rate. And that might be all it needs to really close this game out. Of course, I've seen momentum shift very quickly in Halo before. So, you know, I want to believe, West, we've got like a final fight out of these boys, but they got to change something drastic here.
Just such a tall task to ask to try and stay in the series. There are 5 minutes left, but you almost have to figure out a way to get a cap per minute if you want to win this one. And with such little success so far throughout this game, you have to think that that's almost impossible. It's only a matter of time. Nasty Bullet trying to fight for his life right here. Unfortunately, can't even get the melee before getting taken down. Because of that, Esports Arena could have an opening, but that opening, it gets shut. 3 go down immediately right after, right? So you get the first kill, somehow you lose 3. Magico, he's able to get another one as well.
It's just looking brutal, Wes.
Yeah, they're just forced to play defense, right?
Yeah. That's what it seems like. They will get that flag. Still got 4 minutes to make an impact here. Still haven't seen any good round of slays. Nebula can open something up. Here's a little double beatdown opportunity. Switch it up. We'll get the trade on that. And Nebula going to get left out by his lonesome in the end of it all. And you can see how he's now forced to kind of play it passive. Ideally, maybe get back to shocks. He's not even going to get the freedom to do that, though. He's cleaned up quickly. Nasty Bullet now. He has the shocks, and we saw him put it to work just earlier. You can see the damage this man can do with it.
Yeah, just so much damage into those 2 players. They do get the kill, but I mean, they have to do so much in order to even make this game interesting at this point. You get a blank melee. When it rains, it pours, and switch it up. He can't even get the easy one-shot kill in front of him without trading his life. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's just not your game, and it feels like it just may not be the Game 3 Esports Arena Blue wanted, as we have 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
Oh, man.
Centenegra slowed down their objective play, but you have to think it's only a matter of time till that 5th one goes in.
Centenegra really putting the sidekick to work in a way I feel like I haven't seen in a while. Of course, we know how powerful that weapon is in close quarters, but the triple kill plus Yolan just a second ago, just mopping him up at just about any range here. Here he is once again, back base. Just going to mow him down. You start to wonder, are they just getting kills now? You know, have they had other opportunities to maybe get that final flag in, but they might just be enjoying themselves a little bit too much. Here's the flag, though, once again, in utility. That slay might do it. I don't see anybody left to get the defense on it, so we will plant that one in for a 5-0 to close out that series. And West, of course, we didn't get to see Game 1 and Game 2. Somehow it made it to Game 3, but just based off of that, it looked a little bit lopsided.
Yeah, if that was Game 1, we'd be talking about the next series up.
Yeah.
But we'll still be talking about the next series up because that was Game 3. Off a fantastic performance from, honestly, everybody from Centenegra's side in that Game 3. But Johan, like you said, 26 kills. I think 11 deaths, a plus 15. So very good performance by him. And
yeah,
Centenegra is one of those teams where it has a lot of up and coming players from the MX region. So you'd have to think if they can continue to compete at a high level, put in a lot of work in. The big question for me is will they take down PK one day, or will they be able to remove the throne that PK has kind of built themselves over the past, 5 years at this point? So good things from Centenegra. You hope to see more of them. You hope to see their continued success, and hopefully we get a little MX region showdown later on in this tournament. I know PK is looming in the bracket somewhere, so it'll be an exciting time if we get that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do. And I like how you said, will they, at some point be able to take the throne from PK? I think that's the bigger question, because they definitely have beaten PK before. And that's the thing with Centenegra, is that they tend to play kind of hot and cold. They used to be called fire and ice as well, right? So we don't really know, how they're looking today. Just based off that series, they were looking damn good. Maybe ESA Blue was just having a rough day, wasn't their game. Like we saw blank melee, midway through that. But when Centenegra are playing well, they can punch pretty damn high in these tournaments. So, PK, might need to watch out as well. Like you said, we might get that LATAM show match. And then some of the other teams as well. We don't have, like we had last week, it felt like we had a guaranteed kind of roster to take it with Boo Boo and I think it was Boo Boo, Sparty, Suppressed, right? We had like this GOAT squad. It's hard to say whether we have that today. We do have Spartan on a team. Obviously, this is the team that I think is, might be more likely, but I think that nobody is really safe in the same way that they were last week, Wes. I think we get a little bit more variance here. So let's jump into some more Halo. Of course, we got Torrent and now ESA Red.
Let's do it. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just taking a look at all the teams that are checked in, have competed so far throughout today's tournament that are the potential winners. I think this is a very winnable week for the Esports Arena tournament as far as as long as you're a high caliber team. Even the makeshift rosters that we're witnessing, I think that there's a lot of opportunity there. I know I'd probably favor Spartan and Alex Shock and Mental and the way those guys have been playing recently, especially with the addition of Spartan on the roster. He's going to come to play and bring a level of firepower that's probably pretty foreign to that tier group or that skill group. Sure. And outside of that, I mean, PK, they're going to be good. Centenegra's going to be solid. Torrent's going to be solid. And all of those series are winnable series, though, as long as you're a good team. So excited for the rest of the tournament. I think there's no clear-cut favorite. We got the best of three in front of us, though, for the next winner semifinals match, and it's Torrent versus ESA Red. And we're hoping that ESA Red puts on a better performance than the one game we got to saw ESA Blue. Of course, from the side of Torrent, they had a fairly solid week last week as well. And hopefully they're able to build off of it. So I'm excited to see them once again.
Torrent, I think, was either a third or a fourth place landing in last week. And the star of the show, I think safe to say, Hotshot Ghost popped off last week, wondering if he'll do the same. He is, of course, on Torrent today. You also got Filthy G. You got Piggy as well, who's bounced from Catalyst to I guess now Torrent today, right? He was playing with Alex Shock previously. This time they're split, so that could lead to an interesting dynamic. No doubt he'll add some firepower. You got Parzelli as well to round out Torrent. And then ESA Red has an interesting sub as well, Wes. They've got two nice Nexi and Ampium, who we're used to seeing, but we've got Gunplexion subbed on the roster today as well. And Gun, if I know him, he's grinding plenty with Halo Infinite, so I'm very curious to see his grind and how that translates to a team like ESA Red. And then our series layout. Sorry, go ahead, Wes. Let's do that first.
I haven't seen a ton of Gunplexion here in Halo Infinite. Definitely a player that's known across the scene, especially if you play a lot online. Gunplexion was one of those guys that played a lot of Halo 3, played some 5 and whatnot, and he's got a lot of individual skill. So good opportunity for him, it seems, to maybe step up to the plate and perform well with a very solid roster around him. So excited to see that. But they got their hands full here. Torrent, probably the favorite coming into this one, and rightfully so after the performance. I believe it was last week. Last Monday, we saw them play pretty solid Halo. So Street Strongholds, or Live Fire Strongholds, I'm sorry, the name of the game for game one. Hopefully this lobby is getting ready shortly, and we're ready to jump into some more gameplay.
Can't wait. Like you said, Live Fire Strongholds, Slayer Streets, whoever takes Live Fire is going to put themselves in such a great spot, because Slayer Streets, I mean, from what we've seen, the way it snowballs, if you just get that little early lead off an opening strat, sometimes, even at that highest level, it can be almost impossible to really make that comeback when your opponents get going. So definitely going to want to take game one to set that precedent. But of course, if we get there, we got Bizarre CTF, which interesting way to close it, right? A slow burn game type is going to go, typically goes the full 12 minutes down to overtime. Rarely do we see the full 5 flags. So great opportunity for a test, I think, of team coordination, chemistry in the end of this, and something that tends to be a big question mark with ESA tournaments, because there's always, a sub. There's a lack of consistency. So can't wait to see who can kind of unify on short-term basis here.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Excited to see Too Nice and the boys, though, go at it once again. Not the strongest performance like we were talking about last time around. And honestly, rightfully so. I think we saw them play against Boo Boo's team last time, and that was a very stacked roster who we had pretty much been able to predict that it was going to win the tournament. So another opportunity for another ESA team to build on something and maybe showcase a little bit more of their skill in a more opportunistic series as far as your ability to win.
Agreed. We just got an update from production, for the record. Looks like the series is still getting ready, still getting set up. So as soon as it is, we're going to come back. We're going to jump right into the action and get things going. So we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with the games. Stay tuned.
pacifist. I'm never old enough to give a
I'm fading!
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Series E, and we are right in game, as you can see as well. Looks like this one's already gotten started here, Wes. Of course, it is live fire strongholds tied to start, and we just caught the tail end of Parzelli with a back smack there, too.
Still early in the game, just 55 seconds in. The battle for green continues. The battle for the B stronghold continues, and you're seeing, it looks like Torrent may have gotten the jump on that one. You are seeing a flank here opportunity from Gunplexion. Trying to get behind enemy lines. That's been done, but unfortunately, it looks like they've overextended towards C. So they are potentially going to be able to get into B here. I'd love to see him double cap this with his teammate. Unfortunately, his teammate is going to go down right before he's able to save his life. And because of that, the two players that have overextended to the elbow take him down. So B, it actually doesn't get transferred Shotway. It's just so close, but no one's going to be there from Esports Arena Blue. That's 3 dead. The last player alive, he's over towards C. And that's going to be a reset from B, but somehow, some way, Esports Arena still scoring in this situation that has benefited Torrent in the Slays department. So you'd have to wonder how long that's going to be the case. Because once again, 3 are dead for ESA Blue here shortly. And with Overshield coming up, it will look like Torrent will have the advantageous position if they can get there in time.
Just seems like a matter of time as well. But it looks like everybody on Esports Arena Red is around that OS, and maybe they can't get a defense here. Piggy, with all of his nades, he did the damage he could. Does get a trade there. Next, he's going to try to stay up, but Hotshot Ghost going to make sure he doesn't. Ampium tries to get the OS. That's not going to land for him. So it looks like in the end of it, Torrent, not quite actually. Gunplexion saving grace with that nade. He'll fly for it. Too Nice there to help out Gun. He does just barely get that OS off in time, and now we get a little 2v1 to clean them up as well. So hopefully this is the opening ESA Red needed to get the map back here.
Yeah, the Overshield, it's gone, but the battle did go in the favor of ESA Red. So a good job by them to somehow win in that position. It looked like the Brute Grenades were going to do a ton of damage that gave Torrent a potential advantage to secure that Overshield. It actually wasn't the case at all, but since that Overshield's been gone, look at that. 3 dead for ESA Red. The last player alive is Nexisar, and unfortunately, Nexi, he's going to be by himself under a lot of pressure. They actually choose to slow it down, though, from the side of Torrent. They're going to be satisfied with just A and B for now.
Nexi just continues to lock it down in the meantime. Spots Parzelli. Parzelli will drop. One top mid as well. Nice cleanup thanks to Ampium. That defense hopefully will eventually give them an opportunity to spread out to B. You can see 2 dead already. Remaining 2, though, right out front of Nexi. Gonna make the challenge difficult. I do like the rotation to B coming in from behind. Those nice little pinch, plus 2 dead. ESA Red starting to thin out the numbers, open up a little bit of space to work with, hopefully before they the deficit gets a little too large here.
Haven't seen a ton of Ampium's gameplay, but already at 9 kills for the side of ESA Red. You got 2 players on the side of Torrent with 9. That's Parzelli and Hotshot Ghost. And if we know anything, you need to keep up with the Slays with this Torrent team in order to compete against them at a high level. Unfortunately, Hotshot Ghost makes that kill just too easy for him. He's going to be able to hop into B here. That's going to be B being transferred over because there's 3 dead. Last player alive. He spawned in A. We're going to see a momentary opportunity for a trip cap potential if they're able to push into A. It is going to be entirely controlled by Esports Arena Red at this time. So a couple of kills go on the side of Torrent's favor. We could be looking at a trip cap momentarily. Look at that. They've overextended towards Brutes, and this is the opening that Hotshot needs in order to push the trip cap.
He's just gonna hang back. Sorry, of course, and pick off heads while he does it. Gotta love the angle he had there just to squeak one shot off. There's Gunplexion as well. He'll spot, get the tag out. Filthy G down low, cleans that up. So nice little teamwork coming in too. He can get the tag onto Too Nice. Filthy G takes a second. Here's Nexy, the last remaining member at Esports Arena Red, and that's a full team wipe as they now spawn. Going to try to rotate the C, but the full map accounted for, right? They're going to have to get to A to headbutt it. Already, though, because of the timing, Torrent, you can see they're ready to meet that early on. Ampium, can he find any links here bottom mid? Looking more and more unlikely the longer we watch this.
Couple of players to no shield, but I believe both of them end up staying alive. A good kill back Arena. Swing some of the numbers advantage back into Esports Arena Red's hands. They're trying to transfer over B. They can't get the reset. Ampium's there. He's able to get 2. Not only that, secure that B stronghold that was just a moment away, just steps away from being reset, and still got a little bit of pressure to deal with here at Green, but a great job by Ampium to weather the storm of Torrent. You need to stay in this one. It's already a 70-point lead for the side of Torrent, so Ampium's 13 kills, they mean a lot as far as their potential to come back in this game. If they can still hold on to blue, and they do just that, they get the next 2 kills. If they can transition this to an overshield, shall we, this would be massive for their opportunity here.
You said it. Big opening, not just the OS, the snipe as well, top mid. So they need their numbers to contest them. You can see them already starting to drop here. Next C will get C. Gonna go for the fly to OS. Got to challenge Hotshot to do it. Big pickup to kill him. You can see Hotshot already has 16 kills to his name. So any shutdown you can get early on to some of these players, definitely going to be advantageous for you. Nexy unfortunately dies. That OS should be coming in with these ESA Red shortly here. I believe they have a snipe off this too, so maybe a little opening here for ESA Red if they keep the damage up.
A decision to make, though. You're controlling A and C, and you know that's probably not the 2 strongholds you're going to be able to hold on to for larger periods of time. So they're going to trade over A. They're going to take B. I like that play by them. Unfortunately, that's an overextension if I've ever seen one from Gunplexion, and because of that, that could be just the opening Torrent need to flood into B.
Hotshot
was going to choose to go C, though.
Yeah, I guess so. This man was a menace all week long last week, so I can't wait to see how he's playing today, and so far I'm not complaining, that's for sure. Gunplexion, next one back B. Looks like Hotshot's aware of it. How does he take this fight? Repulsor in, probably the best tool to have on this spot on the map. Just about guarantees him a kill and should give him access to a B cap once again. ESA Red, they'll try to get aggressive here, but this is why you don't knock on the back door of Green here.
Exit 19 for Hotshot Ghost. A great use of the repulsor there, setting himself up for success, just knowing anybody comes in this direction, that player's off the map instantly. Still just a 30-point game right now. So good job by ESA Red to get back into this one. Unfortunately, they're going to have to break this setup, and they've lost the first 2 members. Filthy G does get taken down, but you need players to come off respawn and quickly in order to capitalize on getting that first kill. We'll see if Esports Arena Red are capable of that now.
Until that OS pops, there isn't much of a reason for Torrent to move too much either, right? You got Filthy G top nest, Hotshot back B. Nice little line of defense. Ampium going to open things up, though. Trade did come in on gun. Ampium, nice shots with the BR. That's a double for him. Looking for 3. Does send the nade out, so I like the intention, but not enough for the kill. Parzelli's going to get dropped by Gunplexion, though. Where is that OS? Hotshot's on top of it. Of course he is. He's likely going to bounce out with it, too. This is that moment, right? Is this where Torrent can lock the game down with the OS, with the heat wave? They've got the map in their control. We can't see any mistakes from ESA Red.
No mistakes, and unfortunately, the first respawner actually, the heat wave bounces off the back wall, shall we? Actually takes down some of Hotshot's shield instead of Nexy's there. A very beneficial kill for Nexy to be able to land, and because of that, they're not looking at a B and C control. This is where things could get interesting. Can you get a couple of rounds of slays here to make this dividend in the score disappear?
There's 2 opening on the feed. They just got to get rid of Hotshot. Right there he is, pinched between 2. 3 dead. Just in time for the sniper as well. Nexy going to make the rotation to it. Gunplexion already on top of A. Doesn't pick up snipe. Ideally, I guess leaving it for a teammate behind him. Will focus Heatwave. Close quarters instead. They got him kind of locked down on spawns here too. Cleaning them up on splits. Now Ampium gets that sniper. Hopefully he hits the shot so you can see all of their members over on C here to stop the momentum. And one little stop could be for the game too.
It's not the worst trade. You get the reset on the C as well because the rest of the boys, they show up. You can't hit the no-scope, and Filthy G is going to make you punish Gunplexion. Right now, though, game's almost tied up. You need to stop the bleeding. Get into C, help your teammates transfer it. Now, how is Filthy G going to play this? Because this is a very difficult situation. The enemy team, they're continuing to score. They need 20 points shy away. Are you going to choose to sit top tower? Are you going to try and anchor over towards B? It looks like he's finally going over towards B, but I'm not quite sure if that decision was as quick as it needed to be. And in the meantime, Ampium, he's found himself this overshield. It looks like all of Torrent have forgotten about it. And now at 2:45 and counting, a trip cap in place. This overshield is going to secure it. Esports red. They've done it, Shyway. They've created the comeback down over 100 points at one point in this game. And they're going to win this one 250 to 227, and it was as big of a lead as Torrent could throw there at the end. You can't forget about that overshield, and I feel like when you get those kills into C, you got to go over to B as an entire unit, because the second you hesitate and you stand top tower, those are points on the board. Those are your teammates being put into respawn because you didn't have the firepower you needed to take B.
Good point. You got to be so quick off slays. It's one of those like blink and you miss it type moments, right? At one point we're like, okay, this, one mistake from ESA red and the game is over. They lose because they're down by over 100, like you had mentioned. But one little bout of coordination, you start collapsing on split spawns. We had the snipe that popped up, the OS that went to Ampium, and the snipe, I think, as well. Just the combo of it all, created this suffocation, I guess, on our red team, on Torrent. They could not find their footing. We've seen it before. It's just wild how quickly something like that can take over. And I think with a late game momentum, with that, it makes me wonder, how does game 2 go, right? You've got ESA red with a whole new, string of confidence coming into this. All of a sudden, Torrent, who thought they had that, are kind of dejected coming out. So hopefully they can regain here, Wes, and give us a game.
They're going to need to. And in all honesty, I feel like they outslayed Esports Arena red. They played 90% of that game probably more efficient, better, like won more battles. But it was enough from Ampium to keep his team in that one. And then when they got control, they really pressed their advantages exactly how you need to. That's a beautiful job by them to show you they can do what the best in the world can teach us is the way to play Halo, is the way to take advantage of those opportunities. Nexy soars in the kill feed in the first 10 seconds of the game with a ninja. You don't want to see that. Unless you're an Esports Arena red fan, that is. Torrent, they're going to be able to secure a camo in the meantime, though. They've jumped out to a 3-1 lead, and hopefully Piggy can get his shield back and maybe relocate. Find himself an advantage here to push the series to a game 3.
Haven't had a chance to see much Piggy just yet today, so can't wait to see how he's playing. Of course, like you said, big opening he's created for himself. Too Nice definitely sees him walk by, tries to get a little predate out, trying to anticipate his challenge, but Piggy just a step ahead. He'll clean that one up, opens up some space for the team here. Now 6-3. Looks like we are playing on Aqua, of course, instead of Streets here, Wes. A very different dynamic, but I think the same kind of opportunity still stands. If you get that early lead in Slayer and start pressing that advantage, you can really pull away.
We'll see if that's the case. 10-5 in the favor of Torrent. Thought Torrent for a moment there was about to bring it right back, but good job by Torrent to figure out a way to trade efficiently in some of those kills, extend this one to 5, and it's going to slow down. You're seeing the competition for these dynamo grenades is not going to be a free given one from either side. Filthy G is going to opt to go try and help his teammate pink side of the map, though. He's caught off by himself, and that's Piggy. He's trying to keep him alive. Unfortunately, Piggy is going to actually stay alive after winning that 1v1, and I like this play now. Filthy's able to be aggressive towards the pink side.
Great spot to be on the map here. Of course, he's got the nades to work with. Did just toss him out without any dice, though. Teammate opposite side map on Car, so nice little high ground setup. He will drop down below, try to look for a player. Ampium first to die. Next, he might be the second. Oh my God, gets right behind him and the kill too. So Nexi with the slick moves there comes out with a kill in a situation you thought he wouldn't, but Piggy trades it. Piggy looking for a second as well, but the double team with the remaining 2 players on ESA gonna do everything in their power to keep the deficit as small as possible here. Complexion just trying to live and get information.
The lead's up to 7.
Uh-oh, he turns.
16-9 as this one slows down once again. Ampium, can he bring it back? Unfortunately, he's going to go down. Next, he's going to go down as well. And Torrent, they're continuing the map control advantage that they had. They're putting it to work. And although Gunplexion's able to find 2 in the kill feed, it's still not going to make any kind of a move in the score because the kills went in favor on the other side of the map.
Thankfully, they got a quick cleanup on Hotshot there, right? That could have been brutal. Just ran into 3. Did take a single kill, but of course, the Heat Wave camo combo, one of the deadliest on this map. So anything ESA Red can do to neutralize that stuff, take it for themselves. You can see Nexi has it now. Going to be 3 players pushing up through car as well. So a battle about to take place here. Of course, no dynamos in sight, not yet. But Nexi can use them if he hangs out nearby. He wants the fights instead.
Oh, Parzelli lands some great shots right there. Able to take down a couple of members from Esports Arena. Extend this lead back to 9. Too nice. Needs to slow it down. He lost his entire team. They came off respawn. They got pink control. Can he get the jump on somebody over towards the car side of the map? We're switching on board with everybody. Found the screen we like. Gunplexion, he's going to be aggressive into the closet. A nice thrust. I think he gets a melee there too. So a great job by Gunplexion. That's 3 death for Torrent. Now all of a sudden, this could be the moment where ESA Red, Arena Red, turn this one around.
At the very least, he gives them info. You can see him already tossing the shock nade into that spawn. He knows where to expect the enemy. Options so limited as well. Piggy and Hotshot just trap back Fridge. Too nice. He wants a piece. Needs to watch that right-hand side, and he does. That's 2 dead as he stays up. Make it 3 as well. So the cycle starting to continue here. Now only down by 3. Make it down by 2 as 23rd is picked up by 2 nice. Split spawner, Piggy back base, but he is not safe either. They're aware of it at this point. Can he milk a trade out of this? Of course he will. So close game here, halfway point. Esports Arena Red, they have them on the back foot, but how long can they maintain it? You can see Torrent starting to get crucial trades.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Until now, at least.
It's a beautiful use of the dynamo grenades to find the first 2. Unfortunately, someone snuck through low. And they're able to trade that out in the 2 for 2 when you thought that could be the opening that almost ties the game. It's still map control in the favor of Esports Arena Red. Gunplexion, he finds another one before maybe being a little bit too aggressive towards front the base. They didn't necessarily have the space they needed in order to transition that into some aggression there. So it's a stalemate now, and neither team really in control of the map, and we got a 2-kill game. So Esports Arena doing such a good job to once again fall to an early deficit and climb their way back to make it interesting.
It's a good point in the match to have a tie, but of course everything can change in just a matter of seconds. So who's going to be the one to pull away here? Filthy already has a kill on the Nexi. 2 nice coming up into multiple, and I think he realized that pretty quickly. He's going to drop back down, try to be elusive. Dies in the process, so all of a sudden Torrent going to take advantage. That's high ground plus kill advantage. If they can kill that last remaining player, Nexi, who does take the trade, this should give them spawns over in yellow. You can see they're already preparing themselves for it. Esports Arena Red need to be so careful in this situation not to go down.
Who's going to make a play? Can Esports Arena Red create the upset here? What does Hotshot Ghost have to say about it? Some solid shots onto the first, but he gets taken down. A nice trade, but 4 kills. You got to make up this deficit before it's too late. That's a good job by Esports Arena Red. They pick up 2. It's staying alive when you're no shield. Oh, no, you can't get the melee. The thrust back just sets you up for an easy kill for Parzelli. That was a big one from Parzelli here on the side of Torrent.
See what else he can make of it. Man getting tagged up. Just needs to stay up at this point. 4-kill advantage here is massive to work with. Make it 5 as Gunplexion drops. Hotshot looking to stay alive in a rough spot here. Nexi and Ampium going to answer. That's 3 as well.
Ampium.
Nice little turn in favor here. Ampium, we talked about the combo of camo and heatwave. Looks like he's out of camo, but this heatwave could be the difference maker they need to really pull this one away. Just 1 kill separating these teams. And Ampium going for it all with the heatwave here. A little risky. Thankfully, he's got Gunplexion or had him with them, they're going to need somewhat of an answer, and it just feels like it's not coming.
No. Yeah, maybe just too aggressive of a push. Complexion tries to save Ampium's life and loses his own instead, and a frustrating experience right there, because that was the battle that may have decided this game too. Esports Arena Red found an opening, had complete map control.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too aggressive towards the pink side, and because they lose that so heavily, they're now down 3.
Damn,
a lot of pressure being done here by Piggy and Filthy G. They're able to get 1 for 1, and as they pick up that 48th kill, it's just 2 more to go for the side of Torrent to tie this series up.
Brutal situation to be in for ESA Red. They can't even afford trades. You can see why. There it comes in the second as well to bring us to a 50-46 scoreline. You got to love the fact that it was, toe-to-toe the whole way through, Wes. There was no, we couldn't tell until the end of it, I don't think, who would take it. But one winner, of course, came through. Torrent will take that to a game 3 early on here also. I think we've gotten so used to just landslide victories. It's good to see a series go the distance.
Yeah, these two teams are highly competitive with one another, right? Like games 1 and 2. Check those boxes off.
Very
4
close.
kills in the Slayer, about 15 points in the Stronghold. So no telling who's going to take this game 3. I think Torrent does gain some momentum there. And as we saw Hotshot Ghost start to warm up in the middle of that game 2, I fear for Esports Arena Red's livelihood here.
Sure.
In this, at least in this winner's bracket for now. But I mean, Amp, he's been giving them a little bit of momentum, so we'll see what they're capable of here. I'd like to see them take their time a little bit more when they have that map control, but it's that fine line in Halo Infinite of taking your time and taking too long and taking advantage of the timing that you already have if you can do it quick enough. So finding your rhythm, I guess, would be the play. That it's that one pink push that we talked about there towards the end when it was about 42-42. Or something very similar to that scoreline. Maybe they were down 1 at the time, but
sure,
an overextension towards the pink is not typically the most successful push. I feel like that ramp in that close quarters, when you get stuck on that ramp, it's just such a difficult position to fight out of. And they did a good job of sending enough resources on the side of Torrent towards that push in order to give the help they needed in order to trade damage. And because they did that, they were able to go like 3 for 1 over there. And that's when it jumped up to a 46-43 lead.
Right. Very risky plays made. And I like how you said finding your rhythm. I think that's kind of a key indicator. When we look back at the stats on that game, at least I managed to get a peek at the board. It was even pretty much for ESA Red. I think it was 11 kills for 2 players, 12 for the other 2. So there's not, one player who's kind of carrying all the weight or one who is, kind of lagging behind. And the most part, it does seem like they're working, well off of each other. But can they maintain that in a game like CTF Bazaar? I feel like this is, maybe it's the perfect opportunity where you've got time to kind of figure out that chemistry, that rhythm with the 5 flags that need to be capped here. Either way, they're going to have to make it work because Torrent, like you said, they've built up some momentum. They're looking to send straight through game 3.
Not quite sure what Filthy G did at the start, but whatever it was a successful push from him, and that was all 4 dead momentarily for Esports Arena Red. The last 2 players are going to be spawning on the flag. They're going to get taken down. 4 dead once again. And this flag, it's going to be on the move already. It's Parzelli who's got it in hand, going to get it halfway. And look at that. A few overextenders. Make it 3 players have overextended already on the side of ESA Red. Coming right off respawn. We'll see how Torrent are able to deal with this.
Daxi just going to keep him back. Already got 1 down to no shields. Daxi doesn't pick up flag right away. Just going for the defense here instead. In a big play they'll take advantage of. That is not just a return coming through. This is a flag run as well. Hotshot Ghost going to be a defender to slow it down, but he's just not enough. All of a sudden, ESA Red completely flipped this situation around. They might get a cap off it too if the overextenders can't stop it in time. Okay, I hesitated for a second, but the grapple seems like a smart play. They still got work to do, though.
Still work to do. 2 dead on the side of Torrent, however, and another kill going into Ampium's hands. He's been such a good slayer for this squad throughout this series, and great damage onto a 3rd and a 4th player. So ESA Arena Red. Keep saying ESA Arena Red. That's redundant. But Esports Arena Red, they're going to punch that first flag in, and it was because of the double door run on the side of Torrent, Shotway. You cannot run that double doors when you know that they're at your flag, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to take your time and go tree. When you get the information that there is 2, maybe 3 players that have overextended like that and they are on your flag stand, that double doors is the worst place for your fight to get stuck. You want to take it into the tree. Take your time. Keep it in your corner even. But don't run that thing in because 2 players were so susceptible to the grenades. It looks like, in the meantime, however, Nexi has found himself an overshield. The 1-0 lead still in Esports Arena's hands, and that's a big kill on the hot shot. Not only do you take down their best player, he's goose, so any kind of momentum you would have thought he could have rolled in with game 2. That's shut down. The flag on the move and an opportunity to go up 2-0.
And that's the thing, is it's a good point you made in that they checkmated themselves early on, and the momentum gained off it very clear here. ESA Red looking to get a second flag. Of course, Parzelli, a line of defense for it, and the return does come in, thankfully for them. Pressure still not stopping, though. ESA Red definitely still have the advantage here. Gunplexion just waiting on the Rockets, looking for any sort of a flank. In the meantime, they have that 50-yard line covered. Surprised to see nobody get up in that locker to really keep them back far. Now Gunplexion, without the help, he's going to have to get out of dodge quickly.
He gets out of there, but can't go down the vent because Piggy's on the other side. Gets his shield back, though, and with it, some information as to where Piggy is, but knows now that Piggy didn't drop, and he's got to be up top somewhere. Multiple players just battling for mid-map control right now, and rockets in your favor are going to be a great thing to see on the side of Gunplexion screen, so a good job by him. He's got shotgun in hand, and unfortunately he wants to close the distance in tree, but just can't do it. He's going to lose that shotgun in that tree, and that's the aggression. They may be the overstep from Esports Arena Red, right? That's that moment where you have them trapped in their base. Slow it down, figure out a way to get some free damage or some damage advantage, and then push in. Don't just recklessly try and fly in one by one. We saw them all go down, and now Torrent have an opportunity to gain some map control of their own.
Especially with the shotgun, you end up giving it up to the enemy team. In a situation like this, you're going to desperately need it. Of course, OS about to spawn here. Hotshot, great defensive line for it. You can see his teammates already collected it down bottom mid. Likely got some dynamos to work with too, so we could see a very aggressive push out of Torrent if they stay up, but like you said, Ampium with some nice shots from the locker will slow things down. Nexi, here's the shotgun we were looking for. Ends up getting handed to Piggy. No more OS to work with, but still has had a resource. Gunplexion, that's a nice little double on the feed. Will neutralize him.
Couple of players rocket side of the map. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and now with height advantage, you have to think Too Nice is going to be able to take down Hotshot. A good job by him. Good shots with the commando rifle, looking to try and be aggressive. I love this angle. He's got a teammate on the bar as well. 3 dead for Torrent. Now what are ESA going to do with this opportunity is the question.
Nice.
I love the push. You're able to get that perfect kill. The nades don't come through for Piggy, and this should be a second kill going on the board. Stay alive if you're no shield in this situation. Let me run it. Should be the communication there, but Filthy G and a couple of brute grenades are going to make this one very difficult to continue to run. But still in an advantageous position for now until they just lose 2. Nexi, he's got a big 1v1 against Parzelli, but Parzelli, he actually stops this flag run and potentially what would have been an Esports Arena Red 2-0 lead for now. So a good job by Torrent to somehow lose the first 2 in that battle, Shaway, but more importantly, the last 2, they do enough to stagger that flag run and get the return eventually.
And it was definitely well defended by Torrent. I just hate the fact that it's the spike nade that kills them in the way that it does. It's just, you never know with that damn grenade how far it's going to extend to kill you. And sometimes that's all it takes to break a setup and get one of your own. Speaking of which, look at the flagpole coming through. The timing of this perfect as well. They could not only take a flag, but potentially control of the resources here too. You can see Piggy already has the OS. Going to be so helpful in getting that flag across the midway portion of the map here. Not quite sure where those rockets ended up. You can see Too Nice opposite map. Hotshot, understandably, going to take this patiently till they got the info they need to safely get this one across mid. He's now getting tagged up by Nexi from behind. Barely surviving in the situation. Grapple, interesting use of grapple. And here's a better use of grapple to get straight through the double doors. This one should secure it. I think at least 2 dead.
2 go down though, and this flag run, it has been a long one. So multiple members of Esports Arena have died and been able to come off respawn and impact the rest of this flag run. They stagger it once again. He can't get to the thrust. You could tell he wanted it like a piece of candy on the ground. The flag is going to be punched in here. Nobody else is going to have something to say about it on the side of Esports Arena Red, but they tried very hard to deny that one from going in. But it was the power control that made the difference there throughout that flag run. Parzelli picked up a big double with Rockets. You know they had an overshield to play around as well, and they needed almost every bit of that advantage, Shyway, in order to get that in. Honestly, if you're Esports Arena Red and you give up Rockets and overshield and you're forced to overextend like throughout that exact same time period, you did a hell of a job to try and deny that one, but just too much stacked against you at that moment. Let's see. Now that this one's tied up 1-1 in game 3 of the series for their winners bracket lives, who's going to step up and make the play? Too nice. He's done his job. He's landed the first shots. Can't stay alive. A massive thrust from Parzelli. He's going to find the first kill. And now kills being traded across the board. Ampium, you can tell how bad he wants to get this return. They're going to have to kill Filthy G, though. And Filthy G with some great grenades. A flank from Piggy, and the flank comes through. It's a double kill for Piggy, and it's going to be a 2-1 lead now on the side of Torrent.
So at first, we're thinking, you know, ESA Red had great defense to allow that first flag in, considering the fact that they had the OS and they had the Rockets and, you know, everything stacked. They still had defense. But all of a sudden, we're looking at a very different story here. Second flag in a different scenario. Torrent just picking up off of their momentum and making waves here. Filthy G looking to hit the jump up to the top of the doorway. Not quite going to get it. Instead, Gunplexion is the easier target. He'll clean that up for a trade. ESA Red, with the opening that they've been given, maybe they've got an attack opportunity here.
3 go down for the side of Torrent, but are they going to be able to block spawns in the fight? Do they even want to at this point? There's 2 there. Make it 3, and that's Esports Arena's Red's cue to back up, wait for the respawners that we lost. Keep map control if we can. Unfortunately, he's forced to go all the way around with the Bulldog. He's a little late to the party, only able to find one is too nice. And now, just like that, Torrent have broken the map control opportunity for Esports Arena Red, and just in time for Rockets.
Filthy G on top of him. Not going to back up to him just yet. Needs to make sure he's denying the sight line. There's Too Nice. He's going to be the first victim here. Looking for the second. That was Gunplexion down in alley. You can see Filthy G has some awareness of a player nearby, but didn't see him on the rotation. Instead, going to cut the losses, of which he's lost 2 teammates here. So he's got to play this patient. A lot he could put together, though, to open things up. And he's just getting started.
A lot of pressure on ESA Red right now. It's game 3. It's a do-or-die situation. You're down 1 flag, 2 minutes and 30 on the clock, and you got Filthy G in your base. Taking numbers with them, using those Rockets to a success. Both of them find kills. And now with a complete map control, if Torrent are able to punch this flag in, you can almost guarantee that this game is going to be nearly over in their favor. How do they choose to run this one? They're going to throw it shotgun side of the map and slow it down, and I like this decision by them. They don't need this cap, Shyway. I want to see them get slays before trying to force anything and potentially risking a counter cap.
Good point in that they can just focus their attention in the meantime. The double dilemma is going to, you know, keep them away from their base, keep them away from getting pulls. As long as that flag stays in play, of course, things can still change very quickly if Nexi has something to say about it. Parzelli will take the fight instead, though. He'll get the touch on the flag, so still in play. Still a dilemma here for ESA Red. And Piggy not making it any easier. He'll take the kill on the Gunplexion. That leads to a couple dynamos. The first one, not where he wanted. The flag, though, in the end of the day, is going to go on the pedestal. And at this point, you think it's all but out of the running for ESA Red, unfortunately, here, Wes.
Yeah, it was such a good job by the flag runners in the bar. I think it was Hotshot Ghost that was able to throw it down on the ledge and just buy time. What it allowed Torrent to be able to do is they were able to secure the overshield on the other side of the map while forcing ESA Red to focus on that flag, because they know if that flag continues this game, it's probably over. So they're able to bait that situation out perfectly, get that overshield, and then that overshield able to impact the end of that fight there to where he gets a touch on the flag. He's able to get that run going. Now with the 2-cap lead, 49 seconds on the clock, it's just so much pressure for ESA Red. They're forced to fly in, and that's exactly what Torrent are expecting them to do at this time. And
that timing of the challenge, I mean, had he won the 1v1, sure, maybe he would have had an opening, but he's completely alone in that situation. His 3 teammates, you know, not there in time to get the help, so instead they just die staggered, and now it's completely over. But, you know, like you said, with the timer, you're under pressure. It's tough to make those coordinated plays. In the end, Torrent, they're just going to take advantage of the last 20 seconds. to clean up shop here, though Too Nice not going to make it easy. Even taking a look at that scoreboard there, it's not completely lopsided. I mean, Too Nice definitely had a game. Man's been popping off when it comes to individuals. It's just, in the end, it's, of course, a team effort. In the end of the day, Gunplexion, though, at least he can go out with a little bit of style. Oh, that was a post-game win triple right there, or game loss, I guess. Triple, very nice.
Point and capture the flag for a reason, though.
Yeah,
I think as we had an opportunity to look at the stats, just surprising to see Hotshot with so few of kills in that game. Typically, he is that main slayer for this squad, but that's a phenomenal job by the rest of the boys on Torrent. Piggy and Filthy G really stepping up in that game. And these are some players that we talk about. They have a ton of talent. They have been on the come up for a little bit now, and it's always a matter of, like, will they take that next step of progression in their careers? Is this Torrent squad going to be the one that they do it with? They look good against ESA Red, and honestly, ESA Red looked good in that series, but a very strong performance there in game 3, especially finding yourself down 1-0 early on. It would be easy to let that potentially affect your mindset and fall short in that winners bracket series, but they do what needs to get done. They get the momentum back in their favor, and honestly, since they kept that first flag and tied it up, you had to believe that Torrent was going to close the door on that series and in that game 3, just by the way that they were all playing.
Completely agree, Wes. Just wanted to take a peek at the bracket, though, right? Because our format, if you're in top 8, it's double elim. But if you're outside of top 8, that's it. Your tournament is over. It looks like ESA Red was just in top 8. So we might still see these boys in the tournament through the lower bracket. They're going to drop down. As far as I can tell from this bracket, at least, it says that they were supposed to play Flying Thunder Gods. You know what? I might be wrong. This might not be completely updated, Wes. So, you know what? Disregard what I said. Either way,
I'm gonna let you keep digging this hole, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until we figure out what the answers are.
I don't see a lower bracket yet. I'm sure Yeso will clear that up for us in a second. I do still see McFine, and I see Z Pressure, by the way. We got Suspector in this tournament with Arctic as well. So a lot of other great teams to check out, at least on winner's side, regardless of how this goes. I can't wait to see that. In the meantime, let's send it to Yeso. Let's get the real update on things.
So, just for clarity, I'm not 100% sure if Shyway had the first bracket or the top 8 only bracket, because we do not go to double elimination until top 8. So there is a second bracket that gets put out. So I can update everybody on the current state of that bracket. The first round of top 8, Suspector and Z Pressure took down McFind. Cintanegra beat Esports Arena Blue. Then it was Torrent versus The Hand, which Torrent won. And then Esports Arena Red beat Flying Gods. So what we just got was winners semifinals, which of course we just saw Esports Arena Red fall to Torrent in one winner's semifinal. On the other side, Cintanegra took down Z Pressure, took down Suspector's team. So that sets up a winner's finals of Cintanegra and Torrent. Now down on the loser side, just to run through, losers round 1 was McFind versus Esports Arena Blue. McFind took the 2-0 victory there. The Hand versus Flying Thunder Gods. The Hand won handily 2-0. So that sets up losers round 2, which will be Z Pressure versus The Hand, and then Esports Arena Red, who just lost, up against McFind. So that is the current state of our bracket. If you are in the right bracket, Shyway, I would just say the refresh button is your friend. That's all. But as we look back at the series we just watched, let's start with, of course, Esports Arena Blue. Didn't get to see a ton of them because, of course, we jumped into that series heading into Game 3, and we didn't get to see them in the losers bracket. Bit of a tough finish for them, but this is still good steps forward for the squad. Of course, when you look at the kind of talent that they're playing against, right? Cintanegra teams are really good. That McFind roster, very, very strong. So those are two teams that, like, you shouldn't be necessarily beating yourself up about losing to. Those are really talented teams. They got a game off of Cintanegra, which is definitely something to be proud of, and they just need to kind of keep taking steps forward. And this week, certainly getting into top 8, taking a game off of Cintanegra feels like good progress for the squad. Now we have to jump to Esports Arena Red. Of course, they won their first matchup in top 8, which got them that matchup with Torrent, and they looked really good in game number 1. They got down early but made a strong comeback. They absolutely dominated the last couple of minutes of that game of strongholds and carried a ton of momentum into game 2. And even game 2, they go down early. They brought it back really close. I will say that one late play, I'm not as good with the names of places on the maps for Halo Infinite, but they've got one player backed up into a corner, and they've got 2 versus 1 advantage with the heat wave, and they're a kill behind. And Red plays too slow there to the point where Torrent is able to rotate a second player over to back up, and not only do they not win the trade, they don't even get a trade. They go down 0-2 in that 2v2, and that was, the straw that broke the camel's back in that game. And that was unfortunate because it really felt like Red was carrying all the momentum late in that game. They were looking really good. They had the heat wave, which is a huge boon for the squad. And sadly, one mistake cost them that game. Now, going into game 3, now it's CTF, and they started really strong in that one. They get the first cap. The defense is looking good. They were really starting to kind of get the ball rolling significantly for themselves as they got, really close to going up 2-0, but a stout defense from Torrent was able to stop that and kind of reset the game. And it felt like as soon as that second flag cap didn't come through, the wheels kind of fell off for Esports Arena Red, where they never really felt like they got back into that game. They were just kind of chasing the rest of the time. And as soon as, we got to that state, Torrent really took over. So unfortunate for Red there, but still, again, a similar story to Blue. A lot of good things, and I would say even more so. This Torrent team is really good. And you could honestly argue that, in almost half of that best of 3, that Esports Arena Red looked like the better team. So really well done from them. They're of course still alive in the bracket. They're gonna have a tough test up against McFind down there in losers quarterfinals. So we'll have to see how they can, adapt to that situation. But at the very least, Red having their best performance so far this season today, and they have a lot to, continue to work on, but they're looking really, really good. And I think they should be feeling a lot more confident today with the way that they're playing. So we'll have to see how they can do against McFind. But of course, we are getting ready for that winners finals matchup. It will be Cinta versus Torrent, and this should be a fun one. I'm actually leaning towards Cinta here. I know that Piggy has been absolutely on a tear the last few weeks, no matter what team he has been playing with, no matter what roster he has put together. I'm leaning towards Cinta though, because they're just kind of running through folks. So really well played from both of those teams, and we'll have to see who comes out on top. But our casters are ready to go. We're getting ready to jump into the matchup, so let's head over to Shyway and Clutch to get you ready for winners finals.
Thank you, Ye. So I think if I heard you correctly, we had Cinta and I am muted. Thank you, Ye. So I appreciate the rundown. I think if I heard you correctly, we had Torrent and Cinta up next. I know we have Cinta for sure. We know they're playing hot today as well, Wes. So we can just start by, well, you know what? I got it right. Let's talk about this right here. Series layout on screen, Torrent, Cinta.
We got the winners finals already. Wow. Cinta obviously. Man. Not probably the team we predicted to be in here, and we also knew Sparty had put himself together a nice squad as well. So for Torrent and Cinta to battle through both sides of the brackets to get here, upsets had to happen. So great things from both these two teams. Cinta, we saw them in the first series, only game 3 we got to witness, but they looked very strong in that game 3. It was a 5-0 fashion on Aquarius CTF. And it looks like they've done enough to get the job done against the Spectre strong squad today. So a lot of professional players getting taken down by the Cinta squad already. Right. Can they add Torrent to the list of teams they've beaten is the big question. They seem to be hot, and I like where Yeso's head's at as well. As when this team is hot, it maybe just makes sense to ride it out.
Definitely seems that way. This is interesting as an update. Like you said, all of a sudden, winners finals. So that would be Suspector's team, Z-Pressure, and McFind with Sparty in the lower bracket, apparently. I'm hitting refresh, by the way, Yeso, trying to get the...
It's your friend.
It's not working for me.
He was your friend. He said refresh.
Refresh is not being friendly to me right now, so it's not giving me the full story. PK would have been outplaced by Cinta as well, so that's, once again, another one of those moments where they must be playing pretty damn hot. And then, of course, Torrent, we just got to witness them in a great series with ESA Red. So, I mean, If this is in fact the case, this is winners finals, then damn, we've got, quite a mix up already. And hopefully we do get to see, Z Pressure, Sparty's team peek back in through lower bracket, have like a second wind a little bit later on. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it. In the meantime, those strongholds, Recharge, Slayer, Aqua, Oddball, Live Fire for this series. Wes, any thoughts coming into this one, just based off of what we've seen with these two teams so far?
A lot of thoughts, but I want to get down to the real important questions here, shall we? And it's when the hell did you start saying Aqua?
Sometimes I say Aqua instead of
Is
Aquarius.
this the new hip? Is this the hip trend?
Is it not?
We're shortening it. Well, what's Blueprint? We're on to BP here.
It's Obvi the new
wait.
trend.
Okay. What's
Totes.
I have to know, what is Live Fire? Does Live Fire have any hip things?
Is it LF? No, Live Fire is nice and clean the way it is. I like Aqua for some reason. Sometimes I just
Aqua's not bad. It
instead of
reminds me of the COD Pro though, so
okay, fair enough.
I'll
Sometimes
back off of it though. I'll let you continue to be a trendsetter.
All right. I don't know how many walls we're breaking. In general, I've just been trying to trim the language down, Wes. I think, when it comes to just
Fair enough.
the casting is like saying less is more sometimes, So sometimes
Words are hard.
Words are tough, exactly. So Aqua instead of fumbling Aquarius, I could just say Aqua and make it easy. I refreshed the bracket, by the way. I got the update. Cintanegra actually did beat. Thank you. I know. Congrats. It's actually thanks to the chat for hitting the exclamation mark, give me the real proper bracket. I think I was on the wrong one. Z Pressure beat McFind. So that already happened. They faced each other. Sparty's team, lower bracket, thanks to Suspector's team. Suspector's team got beat by Cintanegra. So they are, in fact, just playing hot as hell today and can't wait to see that translate. And then, of course, we just saw Torrent and ESA Red. So, yep, this is, in fact, this is, in fact, winners finals. But the team's still in this. McFind is still fighting. They got ESA Red up next, and Pressure and The Hand are still in the lower bracket. So in a little bit, we might get to witness that as well.
Yeah, I think the big thing when you look at the bracket as a whole right now, coming into win their finals, it was Suspector's squad that went up against Aperture and Sparty and the boys. They won that 2-0. Cintanegra then 2-0's Suspector's team. And that says that Cintanegra is playing as hot as ever. Off that ESA Blue win. But we're going to jump into the winners finals. That Suspector and Sparty squad, they're going to match up in the lower bracket as well, if all goes according to plan. So an exciting match for the future. But regarding the present, an opportunity at a grand finals appearance here for the day on this best of 3 win. It's going to be Recharge, Strongholds to kick this one off. Cintanegra, they go 3 down. Guardian flies. He's going to, unfortunately, be the last player alive for his team. Piggy, he's made himself a home here in the back of blue, and they're going to be able to transfer this and potentially start scoring the first points on the side of Torrent very quickly.
Can't forget about the sword in the back of the map as well, right? Always a useful tool to guard C, and we're about to see why. If he even needs it, clean shots out of the BR, right? Gets the damage for the pickup on a teammate and just mops up the second. That's coverage of C. That 0 turns into 17 and counting as Piggy takes another outbeat. Now, I know that the talk of the town right now, Wes, is the recent bug on this map. Looks like we are, of course, we're playing the map. We're going to play it out, but just down to competitive respect, I would only expect that the pros would not take advantage of something like that.
Stay off the batteries or Assault will beat you
Stay
up.
off
That's
the batteries.
Gonna be Stay off the batteries. It's a rule. You got to go into a one-on-one UFC cage if we see you on the batteries
For GA
too
batteries.
long.
Batteries are GA.
You're going to have to fight Assault. He's got big hands, big elbows. You're better off just staying in pipes.
Man, I haven't seen Assault play Halo in time.
Seen him crush a baseball.
Okay. Switching it up a little bit. I respect it. These players definitely not switching the game plan, though. Torrent was 75 points and counting to start this, so we've kind of got a bit of a background on Cintanegra and the teams they beat, and the resume looks good getting here, but clearly no easy feat against Torrent today.
Much different story. And keeping it going. Needs to be the story for Cintanegra here. In the winners finals, there's so much momentum. You want to be able to transition this. If ever Cintanegra are going to be in that grand finals, you got to think this is a great opportunity for them to seize the moment. But in order to do so, you're going to have to come back from a 90-point deficit you built yourself here in game 1. Best of 3s can go away in the blink of an eye. So figuring out a way to impact this game quickly is Guardian's responsibility right now. That a shock rifle player trying to apply a lot of pressure to him. This shock rifle player is very weak too. He keeps him weak with that bullet, and that shock rifle player is forced to run away. But Parzelli in the kill feed with the shock rifle shot. Running away was the play apparently, because it allowed him to find another opportunity onto someone else. Stay off the batteries. Thank you. Guardian Flies does a good job to keep some competitive integrity there. But I mean, he tried as he might. Yes, he transfers over B, but they had to surrender A in the meantime. Shawway, it's a very difficult situation for Centenegra if they're not able to find some kills quickly.
This has got me holding my breath every time you jump off it, right? It's just like casual movement. Like you'll curb slide off of the low height ones all the time, right? So I guess in those scenarios, maybe, you know, when you were setting up the slide, you might have been invincible for a split second and just just didn't
how it works is you got to stand still.
Do you have to?
You can't be. Yeah, you can't be looking anywhere. You can't be moving anywhere. So it'll be very intentional.
You can shoot back.
No. If you shoot, you can receive damage. Trust me, I spent the entire morning dealing with this.
Are you sure? Because I literally just watched a clip from Snakebite shooting back and regaining shields at the same time, and he got a kill. Not even kidding. You ready to go down the rabbit hole? Because there's clips where they are shooting back. Anyway, it'll be fun to just get all OCD about it throughout this whole game, I'm sure. Filthy G, he's not worried about it, though. Instead, he's got to worry about the black screen. That's the shock down on the floor. 160 and counting here for Torrent. So Centenegra, they had a little lease on life, but not enough to make Torrent shake in their boots at all.
Yeah, not yet. 161 at 26. So for how strong of Centenegra have been playing Torrent, although the last series, it was a close one, it looks like it may have been exactly what the doctor ordered for them to right the ship. And it's no surprise these guys are here in the winners finals. These guys are so talented. Piggy picking up a double, good shots. Love the ability to zoom in the middle of that BR fight to finish that one off crisply. Win that double kill. He's going to choose to hold A here. I actually like this play by him. He's by himself right now. More beautiful shots on the Magico, and Piggy showing you exactly why he's one of those players that maybe hasn't had the best like professional placements yet, but there's talk on the town that he's one of these up-and-coming talents.
Understandably, we've seen some great plays from him for time now, and he's going to need to make a few more at this point to combat Torrent. Right now, Filthy G's is locking down C. Make sure the nades don't do any damage to him. I don't know. Just get him just because. I find that that's become, you know, almost a little OCD for players. Like, even if there's nobody there, they just shoot them just because. Why not?
Either going to go for them or potentially give them to an enemy. So
right, keep them on spawn.
If you're not going in that direction, put them on spawn. Might as well. Remove that equation. You get hit by one of those frags later, it'll be something you wish you did. So I think that that's the hindsight 2020 play. If you're going to go in that direction, maybe throw in your nades before you can go pick them up. But I think that's the thought behind him at least. Shock rifle in the hand of Johan for now. A lot of Torrent stuck in the battle rifle tower. Not a lot of success here for Centenegra, but they do have A and B for now. They're starting to score. Can they keep this going? Is the question. Camo's going to force Johan's hands, and he somehow gets the kill, but what they do is they give up map control. They lose numbers just to try and trade that camo out, and that's going to be another opportunity for Torrent to probably shut the door on this game one. It's 205 and climbing.
Honestly, kind of lucky that Centenegra come out with the camo kill in that situation. Just how it looked wasn't pretty. Here's Magico, though, coming in to at least pick up 2, I think. That should not have been a trade, but it was. And because of it, you only expect Torrent to make waves off of the opening. Here comes Piggy. He'll take the trade. That's enough to stop the cap in its tracks. So points not going to tick over to Torrent. You can see C is still being capped here. Johan gets the touch on the B, so Centenegra can very quickly turn around what could have been much worse. That sword swing is going to go just shy of Johan. He's going to get far out of that exchange as well, just making a triple team onto A here instead.
A little bit of miscommunication there by Centenegra. They had a guy trapped in the Mangler spawn, and somehow Johan just finds himself in a 1v1 when he knows his teammates are around there. You want to be able to collapse on that kill with your team so you can gain a numbers advantage, not trade it out. But in the meantime, they still are continuing to score. We saw a magnificent comeback one time already today in Strongholds. Can we see it here again? They're down still over 100. You can see the pressure from Guardian says that they want to go for a trip cap. I think they need a trip cap in order to make up a 100-point deficit, but unfortunately, he's going to be taken down. A good job by Centenegra to stay up, even though they lose him, though. And another battle for camo is exactly what Torrent need, because the last time around, Centenegra had control of the map, but the battle for camo is where they fell apart.
Centenegra actually in kind of a favorable spot here to get the camo as well with that C plat coverage, or at least just this rotation. They'll clean down the numbers to get to it. That's going to leave Piggy in back A just to slow things down. He's got a great anchor point, but camo plus B and C capture, and Centenegra can make waves off this if they play it carefully. Just got to let the enemy come to them. Right now, everybody's spawning up in A. Parzelli already split over to long haul. That might be a bane for him if he moves correctly, but Piggy going to get cleaned up. That little opening, Centenegra finding some waves here, but they got to stay on top of it, and so far, so good.
They're going to be able to swap C for B, or C for A, I'm sorry. There's a player in B, and they need to get this kill. Top catwalk as well.
Wow.
Perfect shots are going to get the job done from Johan, and that was a big 4 from him. And look at this, just free reign now that he's won that 1v1. The player that wins that 1v1 has that angle, and because he gets that angle, he's able to do so much damage. More perfect shots, and Parzelli just catching another 4 to the face from Johan. Exactly what Centenegra need to gain some momentum. They're trying to pressure C for a potential trip cap, but I like the fact that he backs up, doesn't overextend. And even if you can't get C, your life is more valuable than anything right here if you're Johan. They don't even expect him to be aggressive. He's almost able to finish 2 there. But somehow, some way, Parzelli finally gets the kill onto Johan. That stops Johan's reign of terror, but a lot of damage done, and all of a sudden, we're looking at potentially a tied game here shortly.
Honestly, that one incredible life at a Johan has not only opened up the points, the entire game is just completely shifted in momentum because of it. Just getting all the perfect timings, and here you got Guardian doing exactly the same. Takes a double, looking for damage on a third, and like you said, he had to get to the hill, but in doing so, died in the process. Trade out bottom mid, camo now up. That's going to be a dilemma to worry about, but a crucial kill at a nasty bullet is going to open things up for the team. Needs the second on the camo, but hot shot, that's a clutch win. He'll bounce out with camo. If he stays alive, that might be the only saving grace for Torrent at this point to break the setup.
Yeah, he gets away with his life. So what does Hotshot choose to do with this camo? If we can hop on board with him, find that answer out. He's in Turbine next to this player. Piggy on screen. Unfortunately. Hotshot, he went towards pipes. Piggy, he goes towards elevator. Does the split benefit them? 2 go down for Centenegra. And although C is going to go in Centenegra's hands, they're going to lose A, they're going to lose B. So now with 240 to 222, Torrent need to play perfect Halo to win this one. Piggy's by himself at elevator, needs to be careful, but it does look like Centenegra is going to be focused on trying to push into B. They get the first 2 kills. 1 gets traded out. It's a tied game at 240. The last player on Centenegra, he tries to get into B. He does get into B, but Hotshot, he's going to shut him down. A massive 1v1 bottom BR. It's going to be won by Centenegra. Can they get into a stronghold is the question.
Oh, no.
240 to 244.
He ran right past him and got meleeed. Parzelli with a 1-shot beside him. Didn't quite see it in time. So instead, Centenegra, they completely flipped the map. They got A and B. Torrent will try to get C, but I don't know if they don't have enough time to get to a hill. They'll slide to B.
He doesn't get in.
Doesn't make it in time. Centenegra by the skin of their teeth. They come out of this one, Wes.
Somehow, some way, another massive comeback in these strongholds. This is just continuing to prove when a team, no matter what the lead is, when a team gains control, there's always a chance in strongholds right now in Halo Infinite. You have an opportunity if the other team has 249 to win the game. You got to play perfect. And although it wasn't necessarily 249, it was 220 on the side of Torrent. They've got to be kicking themselves because it was 220 to about 90 at one point.
Yeah.
And Centenegra just figured out ways to consistently keep their numbers advantages, keep their strongholds advantages more importantly. And when they got rotated on, they just pushed the opposite side of the map. They would trade A for C or C for A and vice versa. And they made sure that they continuously were 1 step ahead of their opponent, or at least were allowed to play that chess-like game in strongholds. So phenomenal job. And what do you know, Centenegra, they're now 1 game away from a grand finals. They keep their momentum rolling.
Wild.
And it was looking very dark early on.
It was. And that's why, like you said, you got to be kicking yourself if you're up by, 100, 190, whatever you said. There was a massive advantage, clearly. Immediately flipped by Sintenegra. They had a moment of clutch factor, though. Hotshot wins that crucial 1v1 fight, bottom mid for the camo, and then made perfect plays with the camo after to regain the map. They had the setup they needed, and then it's just kind of like, face the horde of zombies for the last, 20 seconds of the game. And a bit of an unfortunate mishap there, too. Of course, Sintenegra hammering them from different angles. But in the end of it, one slips through, gets A. All of a sudden, here we are in game 2 with momentum, side Sintenegra, but Torrent, they are not going down without a fight.
Player of the game in game 1 had to be Johan. Just how many perfects did we watch him get throughout that magnificent comeback? Just absolutely turning the tide with his individual gun skill. It's a battle for camo that Nasty Bullet's gonna win. Somehow gets away with his life as well, and that's massive for Sintenegra. There's another player top pink.
Damn.
Doesn't quite secure the kill from Nasty Bullet's side, but at least he stays alive, right? He was a distraction the whole time. They jumped out to a 1-kill lead. More importantly, that they have map control and camo to play around.
It's such a crucial spot to hold on to here, too. Nasty Bullet just tagging out targets, right? The info factor of camo is so important, even if you're not shooting. Just knowing what you're up against, he'll force the kill there. That does lead to a trade. Make it a double here for Piggy and a triple as he immediately answers with something a little better. That gives him back to map here as well. A 1-kill advantage, but high ground in their favor.
Somebody's got to give this team a spark on the side of Torrent to push this to a game 3. It may just be Piggy after that triple. Sintenegra had such a big advantage there with map control, numbers, everything, but Piggy shuts him down with a triple kill of his own. Let's see what he does now.
2 of his teammates already picked up a couple, so he knows to quickly rotate and get ready for the spawners on the opposite side of the map, and I like the movement to get there. Is he aware of, what? Timing? Perfect. He'll clean up an easy kill on the Magical. Looks for a second.
Oh, my God.
That nade was convenient. The double does come through, and a spree for him before he dies. The damage clearly felt amongst Sintenegra, now down by 6 off the pressure here in camo. Up as well. Magical, he wants a piece, but he's not going to get the opportunity at this rate. With plays like this, the snowball has begun.
Such good use of the thrust so far here from the side of Torrent. We've seen them in control of those thrusts, and they've just allowed such big differentials in these 1v1 duels. We saw Piggy with the triple kill with the thrust. We saw other players so far use it, and those thrusts can be so influential on the outcome of these Slayer games specifically. When you're able to turn the tide of a fight because of that equipment use.
That's why I prioritize thrust all the time on this map, and streets as well. I am very annoying with it, but yeah, completely agreed. The game changer in this map, we'll see them put it to good use. Nasty Bullet just going to put nades to good use here as well as he comes out with one, but immediately melted. Deficit not looking so huge at the moment, though. Sintenegra, they can work with this, and Yoan, a player to look to, I think, to help them pull away. He popped off last game.
Battle for Yellow Closet underway, and Nasty Bullet, he's forced to kind of back up, even though there's some good damage with the Dynamos. That's even more damage with them. Players on both sides need to be careful because there should be one right behind him. I guess that assist on his screen comes through, so his teammates got his back. And just like that, it's just a 3-kill game. It looked like Torrent was starting to pull away from this one, Shyway, but yeah. Good answer. Once again, a good response from Sintenegra. Can they close this series out in a 2-0 fashion? That would be a massive statement from them after the teams they've already beaten today. I like this by him. He's going to back up, not making the mistake of overextending here. And you don't need too many resources on the pink side of the map, I feel, when you have map control like this.
But timing that push is going to be so helpful for this camo as well. So I like the fact that he backed up, came back with a teammate behind him. They can work off each other's numbers. You can already see Guardian with an opening pick. That's the opening they needed to get to camo, so they'll slide and pick it up. Little bait and switch coming in to keep the pressure up on Fridge here. Nasty Bullet, he's going all the way in for this kill. Might have to play a little game to get to it. You know what? This went from good to dire pretty quickly. Unfortunately, his teammate did not follow him in the fight, but Yoan, he's doing things on the other side of the map, so no worries here.
Oh my. Great use of the dynamo grenades. Unfortunately, sliding right into the respawners on the side of Torrent. More importantly, though, Centenegra, they went 3 dead when they had 3 players pings out of the map. Johan somehow able to secure that camo, so at least he keeps it out of Torrent's hands. He's able to get a kill like we saw on screen, so that individual performance by him, although it's just going to be a result in 1 kill, the fact that he was able to get camo, stay alive, get a kill, release a lot of the pressure we would have been able to see from Torrent, it's kept this at just a 2-kill game for now. So good job by Centenegra, but you want to see more prioritization on that Dynamo side of the map. You can see right here, Torrent have that control, and what they're able to do with it, they've been able to push the lead up to 3 for now. A little bit of an overextension there from Piggy. Nobody really able to help him out there, and trades are going to benefit Torrent for the meantime, but you want to extend this lead if you're them, because you want to guarantee yourself a game 3, and you don't want this one to be close. You blew a lead in game 1, and you know you're capable of doing just that here on Aquarius CT or on Aquarius TS.
Right, and Torrent find themselves in a bit of a disadvantageous position here as well, but they'll get aggressive pretty quickly. Parzelli with 1 and 2. That advantage going to continue to widen here as they're taking top map and kills as they do it. Haven't seen a single one transfer. There's Nasty Bullet with the trade, but he'll die as well. He'll send the heat wave and the thrust back to Torrent. And all while he does it, a camo about to spawn here in 5 seconds as well. Wes, I think this will be the camo to set the game depending on how it's used. You can see Filthy G already close to it. He's got covering fire. Hot shot with a kill on the feed. They'll try their hand to get there, but might have pushed a little bit too early. The turret out of Piggy here making that camo grab so difficult.
It's all of a sudden an 8-kill game in the favor of Torrent. They'd blown this one wide open with a few rounds of slays with nobody answering on the side of Centenegra. They are able to find that first kill, but it's a beautiful flank from Piggy, who's caught a player from Centenegra off guard. And now with a little help from his team, Parzelli's going to find a kill. 3 dead for Centenegra, and now with 4 more kills here in our winners finals, we're going to push this one the distance into a game 3, and it looks like we're headed in that direction. Shyway.
Yep.
Another one on the board for Filthy G.
Torrent found the opening they needed. They found the advantage to work with, and it's almost a fly like you can't lose situation at this point, though we do see some last second wins, I guess, coming out of Centenegra just to build the confidence going into game 3 here. But of course, 2 tiny mistakes, 2 little trades is all Torrent needs to pop out of this one and give us a game 3 here. Flank already coming in down bottom utility. They didn't quite spot it as well, so they're about to get pinched from behind. This might be 2 dead. They get 1. There's 2 in quick succession. So Centenegra not ready to go down without a fight, but they still got quite a hill to climb here.
Yeah, I'm not going to entertain it until at least gets to 45 and
49.
There it is. Filthy G answers a little bit of that back. 1 more kill to go, and on a map with Aquarius with such little power weapons and no overshield, really.
Yeah.
A comeback like this, near impossible.
Especially
it's
when they
the
play like
Wolfpack
this.
mentality that Torrent use, and everybody into the closet. They get the last kill. They're going to do it. They're going to tie this one up. Winners finals going the distance again. 1-1. Torrent, Centenegra, and Centenegra have now lost a game here in the first couple series that they started to build this momentum on. They 2-0'd Suspector's team. And you thought that this would maybe be a 2-0, but Torrent do a phenomenal job of somewhere in the middle of that game. They were pink side of the map. It was honestly the lack of map control that they had that made me worried for the situation, but they went 4 for 0. You called it out perfectly, Xiaowei, and because they were able to extend that 3-kill lead up to 7, like almost instantaneously, a 7-kill lead is so comfortable to play with on a map like Aquarius CTF, especially once you're entering like that later stages of the game when you're getting into the 40s or closer to the 40 kill mark. That was the moment that Torrent said, we're going to play in this winners finals a little bit longer.
Right, and at the end you can see how just impossible it is to make anything happen when they just basically run in single file together and focus perimeters. And you know, if you're anywhere within the range, you're going to get traded in that situation, unfortunately. So like we said, they'll push on through. I can't complain. In the end of the day, we get more Halo to watch. We get a game 3 in this series. Likely going to be a close one as well, if anything we've seen so far is an indication. What I did see from Torrent, though, recently was this happened already, right? With Torrent in their previous series, they played Stronghold's Livefire, and they had a great lead in Stronghold's Livefire against ESA Red. They blew it. completely flipped the game around. ESA Red clutched up. Same situation with Sintenegra. They blew their lead in recharge stronghold. Sintenegra clutched up. Is this the same story to end this game as far as oddball live fire? Maybe Torrent are a little bit more comfy here. Sintenegra, of course, a very different team than ESA Red. Maybe they've got some late game energy to bring to this, but now it feels like, the momentum is kind of shifted back to Torrent. They're going to come into this one confidently. No doubt Sintenegra, they've been here before, though.
No doubt. I think it'll really depend on the overshield control here for live fire oddball. Live fire is one of those games that if you're not prioritizing your setup and you're not able to hold it consistently, you're going to run into a lot of trouble. Torrent on this off the break, they've been able to get the ball over towards the tower, but they're going to try and drop that and fight for this overshield. Filthy G actually going to change his mind, say, put that ball back bottom middle, make it a little bit more difficult because we're not in a favorable position to get this overshield. Torrent do go 3 dead. That ball being bottom middle was a smart play from Filthy. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how much it's going to matter because Sintenegra heavily slayed the way they did, they're able to get that ball. They do bring it towards scoreboard, which makes it a little bit more difficult to get it into house or into a safe position. Right now, Nasty Bullet, he's able to get some damage that allows his teammates to trade the kill out. And as 2 are dead on each side, it's going to be Parzelli that finds the opening pick, but immediately traded out. So both teams actually just doing a phenomenal job here so far of trading, not letting this one get out of hand. And that's probably a benefit to Torrent because Sintenegra did get that first overshield, and they weren't really able to successfully do anything objective-wise with it.
Just scrappy fights to start the game is what it seems like, right? The ball gets picked up for a split second. They got to drop it and slay. Yohan about to do the same, though, does go down in that situation. That's Piggy with a nice little win in the fight. That gives Torrent a brief little opening to hold ball here. The first real collection of time we've seen all game. And the defensive line for it shortly going to be obliterated, though. Big win out of Piggy just to even out the numbers, and Magico picks him up. So Sintenegra, very quickly, they change hands with the ball. And the timing, pretty perfect here, too. OS about to spawn. They've got coverage near it. Nasty Bullet can draw their attention, hopefully while the teammates pick up the OS. He got obliterated, though. That's going to give Filthy G advantage ball, but you can see the OS already collected here by Sintenegra.
Yeah, but they're 3 dead, right? That's the issue here. When your team is playing for that overshield, you cannot die. Because that overshield player, even though overshield's extremely strong right now with the recent buff, it's not going to give you anything if you have to fight a 1v3 or even like a 1v2, you'll probably be able to trade, but so difficult. So that ball carrier's job was to stay alive, was to probably lean a little bit closer towards the overshield rather than all the way in the back of house, knowing that they're going to be spawning at green, knowing that they're going to be trying to pressure you from front house and from garage. But beautiful grenades gave Torrent the opening they now needed in order to break the setup. But I mean, in the meantime, Sintenegra have broken the setup once again. They got a setup in-house of their own once again. And to say that setup, it's broken. 1 player alive, Nasty Bullet. He's bottom middle. You want to hold on to this ball, acquire some time. Are they going to expect the green spawns? The question. And I like this rotation by the ball. That's exactly what Parzelli expects, is that they spawn green. He gets that ball out of that position quick enough before he loses his life. And that's a big opportunity for Torrent. But, I mean, these setups, to be honest, Shyway, they're fairly weak at this point because Sintenegra comes off spawn, breaks it immediately.
Nothing's lasting here. And you had kind of talked about, how they could have rotated the ball with the A-house setup in Sintenegra previously. It looked like Torrent had that idea. I feel like they should have just maybe kept going. Take the ball back through cuts, take it farther away from the enemy.
Yeah.
And, just get more time. Instead, they're kind of dropping it and slide, drop it and slide. It just leads to these tiny little, periods of control. Oh, well, we say it. The ball going to sit over on B. So one of the better spots to have it if you are in trouble, of course. Timing a little bit less ideal. OS about to pop up here. Hotshot has a defensive line for it, but doesn't have numbers. He'll put damage in, but likely not going to be enough to slip away with anything here. So that OS going to get picked up by Sintenegra. Ball still in play position. If it needs to be played, Sintenegra, they're coming in hot with the aggression guaranteed.
And that's going to be the big difference in this game right now, is that ball, this time around, it actually gets played. It gets reset to bottom middle. So even though Sintenegra, they get the overshield, you really didn't need overshield to break setups because, I mean, these setups are falling like dominoes so far in this game. Torrent do a phenomenal job to rotate the ball to a position where at least when Sintenegra break this setup, they're not going to be able to get one of their own instantaneously, right? They're going to have to go back to bottom middle, and they're going to have to buy some time there. That's basically been the difference here in this 20-point lead for Torrent at this time. We're seeing Centenegra desperately now trying to keep up with the rotations of Torrent. You're starting to see a separation in that rotation skill set that's going to benefit Torrent so far through this round one.
Filthy G is such a nuisance up here. He'll take another. And the second, he already just picked, make it 3. He'll chase this kill. You can tell he's starting to feel himself at this point, but the positioning here is so beautiful. Reticle placement as well. Ready for every fight coming his way, and I think the result of this pretty clear. 85 on the board there for Torrent as they finally start to get something together. They play the ball once again, like we said. Going to force Centenegra out to mid to get a hold in this situation, but they can't even get a hold of high ground. Yohan going to get knocked off. It didn't kill him, so thankfully he'll live a little bit longer here. But look at where the ball is. Immediately slipped out of their clutches, and this might be the round.
You're focused on the guy top tower. They're focused on the oddball, bringing it to house. They need 2 more points. And in oddball, with the way these setups are being held, you can almost guarantee Torrent's going to figure out a way to get it. And look at that. You're going for kills. You forget about the ball. It gets out of your control. You got to understand at all times where that ball is, where it's headed. Like, the decision-making right now for Centenegra in that first round wasn't good enough to get the job done. Torrent outplayed them with the strategy of those rotations. And they give themselves the early advantage with that round 1 win here in game 3 of our winners finals.
Centenegra with a final opportunity to regain here, winter finals. And that opportunity they'll take. They're the first one to touch the ball. No actual hold in sight. They need to make sure the way is clear here. Magical going to be the one to rotate it. Nasty Bullet with the heat wave to work with. OS about to spawn here too. So they can stack the artillery. That was the objective at least. But Piggy had a better objective in mind. He just baited out the OS for a second. Sorry, it's Parzelli. I take it back. Doesn't seem to matter who has snipe in this situation. They're always popping off. Looks like he got another on the Yohan. Didn't quite get to see that one, but I saw the kill feed. That's for sure, Wes. Still going, by the way.
Parzelli showing you he can pop off. Can't hit the next, but done so much damage. Basically giving his team this 25-point lead they're about to have.
My.
Parzelli's going to extend that lead with a couple more shots. Gets the first and immediately smells blood in the water when he lands the body shot. He's going to get that kill. Although the setup is broken, the rest of the team, they're starting to fall. Parzelli still staying strong.
Setup might be broken, but mental is starting to break on the side of Centenegra at this rate with this type of firepower. Parzelli barely missed a shot with that sniper. He'll trade it out for the heat wave. Does die shortly after. There's a little breathing room that Centenegra needed with a quick trade on 3. They'll take the ball back to A. Temporary setup here. We've seen them here before. Hopefully they can lock things down a little bit longer this time.
Phenomenal performance with that snipe from Parzelli. It's only 33 points, though, so still manageable. On the side of Centenegra, you got to prove that you can hold a setup, and unfortunately, you have numbers. I thought they were about to go down there. Good job by Nasty Bullet to somehow stay alive. He gets left, and with that, should get some more time here. Overshield is up, and the battle for Overshield is just a little bit late from Centenegra's point. Torrent's able to come off respawn, secure that Overshield. It forces Yohan to throw this one out the window. Unfortunately, he loses his life to a grenade. And now a setup once again from Centenegra, where the ball doesn't really get played. There's not enough trading to deny any time. It's going to benefit Torrent once again as they are able to extend this 30-point lead right back up. And we'll see how far they can push it now.
About to say everything benefiting Torrent at this point, though thankfully they dealt with the OS pretty quickly. Piggy is very fast to make up for it, though. He'll go for a second here as well, but Magico going to win that fight. Yeah, would have been massive if he took it. Parzelli here with one teammate. That's Filthy G. Just going to try to delay the approach back to ball, and perfect shots will do that, making it very difficult for Centenegra, even in situations where they have the numbers advantage, where you would hope to see them collect time. They struggle to get to it, and that's thanks to Parzelli just locking things down. This man is 15 and 12, by the way. Filthy G having an incredible game here as well. Just looking to lock it out at this point if they keep this up, unless Nasty Bullet's got something to say about it.
Yeah, still just a 36-point lead at this time, but, I mean, not seeing a crisp Centenegra here in game 3 so far. I'll be honest, just that push by Nasty Bullet onto the overshield player was by himself. It gave Torrent every bit of lead and opportunity they needed to have a numbers advantage to break another setup for Centenegra. The ball trying to get played does get repulsed, but it catches it in the air. Johan expecting it after seeing that player with the repulsor on his wristband. He knows exactly what he's trying to do. It's not the best repulsor onto the ball, and it makes it a catchable one from Johan. And now look at this, Centenegra.
Oh, wow.
3
Numbers
dead.
too.
Filthy G's the last guy. They know where he is. This ball carrier is by himself, so he needs to be careful, but they're going to be right back into the second round, Shyway. They got it up to 50 points. 13 is all they need.
No.
But, I mean, that's what I was worried about. You saw everybody on Centenegra so far away trying to hunt down Filthy G. It's like, wait a minute. They're going to spawn closer to the oddball carrier than where Centenegra are. And they don't even play the ball. The biggest mistake of all is not playing the ball there.
Yep.
And it's resulted in a Torrent setup once again. So just when you think it's a 10-point game, Torrent are able to blow this one right back up to about 30.
So this is a moment where you as a team go back in the VOD and you rewatch that and make sure you learn from the mistake though, right? Because Centenegra, I mean, what an opening to cross the map to also get OS while having a B-hold at the same time. But if you don't have the awareness to know that the spawners are going to end up near you and you don't play the ball, you don't get anything off of it. This round, this game, this series is over off that little macro mistake. Torrent take full advantage, and they'll walk away with a grand finals winner's side spot.
Yeah, and to me, it's on everybody on the team, right? Everyone has to understand, like, somebody needs to be with the ball guy. Like, especially when it's at green, somebody's got to be big door, elbow. I don't know, someone on my half of the map is what I would say. That'd be great. Trying to hold a setup.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, it's like
expecting the play ball there, though, I think, or expecting the spawns so that you're in position to play. Would have been
once everyone on your team has let you down and you're the ball carrier. Trust me, I've been there. Once everyone messes up,
throwback.
You have to acknowledge the only play I get to make at this point is playing the ball and dying. Like, my teammates have decided that they're gonna not try and hold this setup, right?
Yeah.
So very similar to when someone like Neighbor can run across top middle on Guardian for free without being seen. Absolutely full shield.
Is this another send back to right? Wait. Oh, I'm trying to even remember the play. It's so iconic, Wes.
I mean, he just ran top middle. It's
he
not
just
really
ran
iconic. Not that.
And didn't get shot once. And you didn't play the ball, and because you didn't, now you're a caster, not a player anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think
it was that one.
We get 3. What we get 3-1.
I mean, I didn't live it, Wes. You lived it. So if you I'm not sure if you remember it all. PTSD.
Oh, I remember.
PTSD can suck.
I remember every game in that series.
Okay, good.
Went positive all 3 of them.
So what you're saying is you don't just remember, you still have nightmares about it today.
I remember the killing frenzy I had in game 3 as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, somehow I'm the ball guy, though. It's awesome.
Either way, it is very interesting to see how a game can completely flip on a dime if you don't play the ball in a situation like that. Because it wasn't, they were at 75, 68 points, I think is what it was when he didn't play the ball. And that led to the finale of the game. So it wasn't just a matter of like a final second clutch. A lot can be created off a little mistake in an opening. So let's see what kind of openings, what kind of outplays we get. Of course, back in the lower bracket. And by the way, this is actually the most interesting matchup we could have jumped into, Wes. This is Z Pressure and McFind. A lot of very high caliber names on the list here.
I'm actually so happy that winners finals just ended in time to hop in on this one, right? 0-0 still. It's a best of 3. But what I thought would probably be the 2 best teams in our tournament today.
Right.
Torrents proved us wrong. The Negras proved us wrong. They've solidified themselves at least top 3 positions. McFind and Z Pressure, so much talent here in the lower bracket. Aperture, he's got this shock rifle in hand. Look at this play. He knows he's by himself, so almost takes a sneaky route here. Typically, you'd be top elevator. He wanted to deny B, but couldn't quite get an angle on anybody over there. Z Pressure getting some slays now. They're down 57 very early on in this one, Shyway, but Does look like they're going to jump out to some control here.
Nice.
And this is going to be an important 1v1. Somehow Aperture through the repulsor is able to keep his shot steady enough to get that kill.
At this point, I've seen it so many times, but that's just how you play against repulsor in that situation. You come to predict it, so you drop in front of the box, and guaranteed you're not going to get repulse off the map. You got an opportunity for a clean kill, and Aperture takes that kill into control of top BR here as well. He's got, I believe that was Sparty who just slipped on by to get aggressive onto A. They've got quite the coordination here to start of this game. Wes, it wasn't just a 50, make it 67, and counting as Alex Shock going to pick up the pieces off this OS grab here too. Camo.
Got to take down Suspector, though. That's the big one. They can't quite do it. Suspector gets the better of him, removes Camo from the map, but a good job to trade that one out from Mento's point of view. He's able to remove Shock Rifle from the hands of Suspector. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't see it on broadcast, but these two teams, they played in the winner's side of the bracket. And Z Pressure, they won 2-0. So, you know, McFine, they want revenge. More importantly, both these two teams want to stay in the tournament now that they're both in the lower bracket. So this series is everything for these guys today.
And so far, so good. Mental going to come out with a kill, hopefully stay alive in the process. He's got coverage on A, of course, a great anchor point to lock down. Liking the movement, too, to get back into the fight immediately. Shots into both, Sectify and Arctic. Going to keep him weak. Got to watch out for Tuscan. They come up, though, right beside him. The repulsor not quite going to benefit him in that situation. One of the few spots, honestly, where the repulsor kind of, screwed him more than it helped him. And that animation just kept him locked down. Mental took advantage, at least long enough to keep the cap in session here. Z Pressure quick to turn it around, though.
Honestly surprised to see Arctic alive right here. Thought for sure he'd be taken down. It's going to be a trade with Aperture. As Z Pressure try to transfer over B, but in the last second, Mental gets there, gets the kill, gets the reset, keeps McFine scoring in this one, 122-18 now.
Just looking to keep the pressure up, make sure they don't get any form of map control here, and Alex Shock confirms it. He's got a Shock to work with now, too. Coverage on a top A, great sightline to work with. How does Z Pressure play this? We're going to have to fan out from C and try to find a point of attack here. But any angle you know what? What a beautiful trade.
Was as good as the shot.
Yeah. Yeah, this perfect placement to connect it, but Suspector, I mean, just so ready. So
who throws a stick in that situation?
Nobody does, right?
Suspector is built different.
Just pure high-level prediction back and forth here.
I don't know what McFine looked like in the winner's bracket, but they look like a completely different team here.
Damn right.
If this is the same Z Pressure that they lost to in a 2-0 fashion, they look very dominant so far. Maybe all they needed was a little main stage broadcast appearance. A little bit of light goes a long way. Knowing people are watching goes a long way to some people's performances. And
it tanks mine. I don't know about you. You love that spotlight. Mine just dips the other. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Hopefully these players
enjoy the spotlight. But speaking of enjoying the spotlight, Alex Shock, just one of those guys leading the lobby right now in kills. Not a surprise, in all honesty, because everything we've seen from this guy in the past month has been positive. Positive. He has played some great Halo. Got a couple of good players around him here today, too. Sparty gonna acknowledge how well Alex Shock is playing. You know, if he's willing to team with you in this, trying to up the bank account just a little bit on a Monday, this is a big one for Alex Shock, just to, get the name out there. Because playing with Sparty in a situation like this and having success, proving that you're a good teammate, that you have good communication, you never know what that leads to in the future, especially when Sparty needs a team.
Especially when you see this man pop off. I mean, why wouldn't you want to team with him, right? Just the strafe he just pulled off there to get the kill.
He's so
something
good.
we've seen. I mean, we've seen it out of him so many times. It's the pattern, though, right? It's like that he'll dip to the left, come down, and crouch to the right, and just repeat the process so damn quickly that even the best players in the game will get tricked up on their aim and start to windmill just a bit. At this point, though, 237 on the board. Alex Shock with a clutch kill in a beat. Going to keep the lockdown on the map. It's up to Z Pressure to find an answer in this pressure to get out of this one, but they just don't have time to do it. West, time is ticking here. Suspector, he's getting tagged up on all angles. Less than 4 seconds to get to a hill, and he does not have an easy opportunity to do it. Instead, McFind come out of this series. Like you said, what was a 2-0 in the winner's bracket to Z Pressure. Now it's a 1-0 in the favor of McFind. It's a very different story here and a much more important series in the end here, too.
Yeah, and as that one was closing out, I know we called out Alex Shock, or at least I did, for leading the lobby in kills, and I think he ended the game with the most, but it was everybody that got up there towards the end, so McFind all around. Aperture, he steps up. Sparty, you know what he's going to bring to the table. He's not going to have a couple of poor performances in a row, especially not in Infinite, where he seemed to be so comfortable in his game place. And now you're looking at Z Pressure. How can you respawn now that when you 2-0'd this team in winner's bracket, you were probably under the mindset that, hey, we're headed to the grand finals, baby, right? Like, when that was your round 1-2-0, you're thinking
that was the only competitor you had, probably.
Some easy cash.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, Centenegra gets the job done against them, and now Z Pressure, they lose one more game here in this series, they are done for the day. And that's a lot of talent to be removed, I feel like, even this early, which we're getting late into the bracket and the losers semis, I know, but still, Z Pressure, they came into this tournament with hopes that they were going to be champions, and far from it there in game one. Have to completely turn this ship around if they want to stay in this one. Aquarius Slayer may be the one to do it.
Yeah.
You just didn't see control or even opportunity for those guys there in game one, though.
Which is, yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic to see. Of course, we didn't get to witness any of their gameplay leading up to this, but all the strongholds that we've seen have been, you know, maybe lopsided one direction till the team gets that one little opening they're waiting for, and the next thing you know, there's a huge comeback, and, you know, you don't know who's going to take it. Same type of thing could happen here in Aquarius Slayer. Those early kills, so damn important for momentum. So if you're on Z Pressure, if you're Tusk in this situation, you want to make sure you come out on top.
Back and forth, 6-3, McFind. Very early on, they're going to jump out to that lead, and it's on the back of Aperture, somehow already having 4 to his name. One of those guys I haven't had an opportunity to watch a ton of. You probably know more about Aperture than I do at this point.
Still learning. Very talented player, though. Getting some
There's
of
a
the
reason his name's still...
Yeah, go for it.
There's a reason his name keeps popping up, though. Similar to the likes of Alex Shock and what Collect was. I think Collect's kind of made himself a little bit of a name. Probably needs to do it at a LAN tournament, but you'd have to think he's young. It's a matter of time. Mental. A multi-sport. Trying to be a multi-FPS monster. Can he do it? I know he's pretty solid. I played him in the playlist as well, but I feel like these guys, there's just a couple of pieces, and when they put those pieces together, they have an opportunity to really make themselves household names. It's just a matter of, will they ever do that? That's the big question.
Yeah. It's tough to make the transition, though, right? Like, into Halo from Gears, you don't have the same kind of connections. The best players, they all stick together at the top. Difficult situation for many of these AMs on the come up.
It's a climb. Part of being a professional Halo player is being able to put a team together, though.
Almost seems like half the battle at this point.
Hey.
No shortage of talent, right? Just shortage of chemistry.
Yeah. Being on the same page. Wanting it as bad as the guy next to you. Having the same level of motivation, the same goals, the same mindset there. Goes a long way, McFind. You know, they're a pickup team, but a lot of aspirations on that side, whether it's Sparty knowing that he wants himself a contender, right? A team that can play alongside the Optics, the Sentinels, Cloud9s of the world. Something he really hasn't had throughout his career, I would say. Maybe that's a little disrespectful to a team I'm not thinking of, but Sparty's always been in that like second tier, and I feel like as an individual, he thinks he's made the jump here in Infinite. 9 kills to his name, leading the lobby. No surprise there. 28-14, however. So Z Pressure, somehow they 2-0'd this team earlier today, and they're thinking to themselves, where's that team? Who are these guys?
Yeah, this is a completely different story all of a sudden, Wes. I know we're out here reminiscing, talking about the trials and tribulations of, being a professional Halo Esports
It's a blowout.
Competitor. But this is a blowout. Yeah, this game is just completely evaporating before our eyes as we talk about it. 32-15 here as it's so damn lopsided. You're starting to wonder if Z Pressure even have an opening to turn it around. Suspect they're going to die here thanks to Sparty. We've been singing his praises. I do know that 2020 Halo Reach was a tournament he definitely won, right? We were there for that one. But apart from that, always kind of just scraping at, top 3, top 2. Never quite getting to see him on top. And just based off the rumors, I think, he might be finding that team that can get him there. Only a matter of time till we see it. But this is the kind of grind that puts you in the spotlight.
He seems to be excited for the first time in a while, so we'll see what he's got cooking up for us right now. What can Z Pressure cook up for us? They get a couple of kills unanswered. This would be a monumental comeback, especially on Aquarius. They've made a cut into the deficit, but they're going to need a bigger shovel if they want to mount this one. A player bottom middle, he spotted out. Unfortunately, Z Pressure, they've lost 2, and this push could be a difficult one. Look at Suspector. I mean, just like trying to be active, but can't find anywhere to be active. Like everything he's doing is just like wrong in a sense, right? And that's like a terrible feeling because like he's a very good player.
Yep.
Trying to impact the game. It's just credit to how McFind are playing it, right? They're like removing the Suspector dynamic from this, or not even allowing him to find those 1v1s to gain an advantage here or there.
It does feel like
just
sorry,
too quick.
Yeah,
no, you're good.
It's too quick. It's like it's a timing thing, though, right? Like Suspector could literally be playing perfectly, hitting every single shot, anticipating the encounters, but because of the timing of his opponents, like he's just never finding that little clean opening to come away with a kill. He's always getting 2v1, 3v1, whatever. You're getting caught in just the worst possible situations, suffocated without an answer, and it just seems like everything's so in sync at this point from McFind. On top of, some of the individual plays here. I mean, Aperture coming out on top in that fight. Sparty with another kill. Bring us to 48 in just a second. Suspector looking for that little opening. Septify does pick it up, but at this point, it's just, it's just a matter of time.
(47-33). 3 kills needed for McFind to get their revenge here on Z Pressure. Close the door on Z Pressure's run here today, and Septify, he's going to make that a little bit more difficult. Buy a little bit more time for his team. Where are these nades coming from? Jesus. Just want my shield back, he says. Even that's even near impossible.
All right, Sep. I mean, double into Spree. Little last second pop off here. It's just not enough, right? Unfortunately, one teeny tiny mistake, and that's curtains, not just for the game, but for your tournament life here. Arctic might be the victim here. Aperture, he's searching. Not quite going to find him just yet. As he slides out, he won't take it. Instead, someone else will. And McFind going to come out of what was somehow an 0-2 on the winner's side. Now a 2-0 in the lower bracket. They'll knock Z Pressure out of the tournament. And now it looks like McFind are a true contender to win this thing, I think, West. The only team to knock them down was Z Pressure. They had yet to play, Sintanegra. They have yet to play the loser bracket finalist Torrent. So really that's all a big question mark. McFind could, at this rate, just, kind of roll like a snowball through lower bracket. Can't wait to see it.
I almost expect it, right? I expect them to continue the momentum that they've had throughout this elimination side of the bracket. They are going to go up against Sintanegra in that elimination finals next up. And if McFind have showed you anything, it's that whatever happened in round 1 of the winner's bracket, well, that's not the same case anymore. They played the Z Pressure squad yet again, and it was a completely different story. Not quite sure how the first series went, didn't get a chance to see it, but that second one, that was a very defined win, right? That was a win that I'm like, how did this other team win a series against this team earlier today?
Yeah.
But hey, ebbs and flows, consistent play. It's very difficult to perform, and maybe that's just the name of the game here for that Z Pressure roster. Unfortunately, their time here today is done, but I'm excited to see Sintenegra against this squad because I think that they're going to have their hands full, and they know that they're going to have their hands full with a lot of intimidating names on the other side for McFine. So I don't think either team can really have a misstep in this series. I feel like Sintenegra is playing good enough to where I could convince myself that they can win this series today. But I think McFine is gonna use the confidence that they just got their revenge on Z Pressure in that last series, especially with as dominant of wins as they got. And I could see this one being just as dominant as well.
Definitely could be. Here's hoping Sintenegra have the wherewithal to hold out lower bracket finals and get a chance for the rematch in Grands as well. That lobby is still just getting formed, so I can only assume we're going to jump to a short break or maybe even a look at Yeso and the stats to see what he's saying as far as what's happened so far in the tournament. Just a couple more matches to go, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. Peace. If we're even on break, I honestly... Okay, there we go. Wonderful.
Welcome back, everybody. Well played in those last couple of series. Of course, starting with winners finals, Torrent and Sintenegra. And I certainly went into that series predicting Sintenegra. They'd been honestly on a tear, looking really, really solid. But Torrent really came to play in that set. It goes the distance, and Torrent comes out on top. That was a really fun one and really well played from both squads. And if we earn a rematch in grand finals, that would be a hell of a way to finish off the day. But it feels like regardless of the result in losers finals, we're going to get a great series in grands, because of course if you jump to losers semifinals, it was Suspector's squad up against McFind, and McFind taking care of business. Of course, they fell to the squad in the beginning of top 8 0-2, and then they come back and get revenge with the 2-0 there, and now they move on. They will face off against Sintenegra in the losers finals, and this should be a very tight matchup. McFind, a really good squad, and Spartan playing with Palm Villains last week, they were incredibly dominant. Looks like he and the team this time around are looking really good, and they're carrying momentum into this series. Got to be feeling really good after taking down their previous opponent, and now with Sintenegra ahead of them, I'm kind of now shifting gears here. Of course, Sintenegra didn't play a bad series against Torrent, not even close. They played that really tight. But coming off of the loss, McFind carrying a lot of momentum here through losers. They've made the entire losers run from top 8, and they're looking pretty unstoppable right about now. They've really ramped up down on the lower side of the bracket, and I think they're coming in as favorites here. It's going to be a tough test for Sintenegra, but we'll have to see what they can do. But this promises to be a fun one. So we do have losers finals. Again, Sintenegra, McFind, and then Torrent will play the winner of that up in grands for the biggest share of today's prize pool. But our top 3 has been set. It promises to be an exciting finish to today. Of course, before we jump into that, hope you folks are all having a great day. Do want to remind you, if you're looking to pick up products from any of our partners here at Series E and at Esports Arena, you can grab them all over at walmart.com/esports arena. So if you need a new keyboard, a new headset, maybe you need, a new chip for your PC, or you're looking for maybe something to take care of those headaches when you're gaming long hours, you can find all of that and more over at walmart.com/esports arena. So make sure to head over there today. Also do want to remind you folks, of course, we've got a stacked lineup of Series E action the rest of this week. Apex Legends. Tomorrow we'll have Pro Night as well this coming Friday. Guilty Gear on Thursday as well. Now, right now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, though, we'll finish off this bracket, so don't go far, folks. We'll be back in just a few.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
Some noise.
even the biggest headaches are toast.
Excedrin keeps your head in the game.
For no more throbbing noggins.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with more Series E and straight into gameplay. We're looking at losers finals on board with Sparty McFly of McFind, and he's already popping off
Oh
to kick
my God.
off our lower bracket finals here. I couldn't ask for anything else here, Wes.
I mean, into gameplay, into sport, and just absolutely dominating the competition. Cincinnati, they find themselves down 1-0. McFine using that momentum from the last series in the elimination semifinals to gain an early advantage here in the elimination finals. Can they make it to the grand finals? And if they can they win 2 best of 3s? The big question of the day. And honestly, Shyway, we could be here for a few more hours with the way McFine are playing, because they're starting to heat up just at the right time. Cincinnati, though, able to clear out a little bit of their base, it looks like. Still one player to deal with, and it is Mental.
Jeez.
Bullet's able to do just that, just in time for Overshield as well. And Cincinnati were getting a position to contest this. Overshield's the next question.
This game has not been going for too long here, but a flag already on the board, and relatively even slays as well. So McFine just making waves off these little openings. Big kill out of Yohan, though. Should at least give him access to that OS. That'll back off Mental. Mental's got the Needler to work with. Great situation to use it, but the OS will prevail. Yohan and Nasty Bullet, they can push up together. So hopefully a little opportunity here for Cincinnati to finally get some strides on the flag.
The flag gets pulled, and would love to see Cincinnati tie this one up here. Nasty Bullet's got it on the move. Slays are coming through. McFine got one player alive. It's Alex Shock. I believe he's somewhere around here. Magico, he's found him out. Sniffed him out, taking him down. It's going to be a tied game here now. Bizarre CTF, 7 minutes left, and a phenomenal job from Cincinnati there to tie this one up. Making sure that this one stays within striking distance. Done a good job to keep map control as well, so it's not easy, but they're able to do it. Mental, the last guy alive for McFine as well.
And not going to have much luck in this situation. Magico and team locking him down. That puts him back on respawn for defense once again. There's a stick out of Magico in the feed. Nasty Bullet living here going to be massive. He's getting handsy, though. Goes for the risky ego chow. Thankfully, the teammate there to help him out, keep him alive a little bit longer. Yohan, Magico, they'll tag team their way into flag. The trade comes through. Yohan going to take advantage of the timing here, but a grapple a little bit faster to get to flag. So I like the fact that they switched out and already getting ready for spawns here, too. You say, oh no, that's the perfect name.
Such good use. Yes, such good use.
That's yes for
Alex
Yohan.
Shock was trying to play that one slow. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Perfect use of the Dynamo. I thought he might waste it earlier. Somehow, some way, even with that kill, the return's going to come through. But I actually loved every bit of that chess match we just kind of watched happen as that flag was being run. I thought Alex Shock was going to make the play, just slowing it down, playing his life, crouching in the corner. But somehow, some way, throughout the chaos, McFine were still able to find the Slays. They got themselves the rockets, turned that into an overshield. What can they do with the overshield now is the question. It's in Aperture's hands. They're going to be aggressive through the bar, it looks like.
One kill out of the end. Full string of pressure out of Sintenegra. No longer. They are now forced to defend.
Beautiful.
And like you said, they did that pretty damn well. Alex Shock gonna die also, so not really any trades coming out there. Sintenegra just gonna cleanly get the defense. Mental down bottom mid, brawling. He doesn't last long, though. That puts the shotgun down. And you want already with advanced positioning to hammer the doorway. So you like to see the pressure coordination coming out of Sintenegra here. They had a couple opportunities in a row. Hopefully they can get another off of this. You can see Yohan alone, though.
Yeah. Looking like the favorable team here for the last couple of minutes, I would say. Sintenegra doing such a good job of somehow getting the Slays. That overshield you thought was going to be an opportunity for McFine, but they do such a good job of chipping away at it and staying alive and using teamwork to bait and switch correctly. And because of that, that overshield was removed. It's awarded them this map control ever since then. They get 2 kills as well. Can they get into the enemy base, find the last 2, get a flag on the move is the question.
Just trying to make sure they work together as they do it. That bait and switch so important. Sparty, I think he might have gotten an interesting split spawn there, back base. Going to try to take advantage of it. Nasty Bullet does clean up the kill. He's alone now to take the flag. Teammates coming in through Treehouse to likely help him out. They got to be quick. Nasty Bullet with a nice movement to stay alive just a little bit longer. Might have been all they needed to get that flag out. When it matters most, your OS popping up too. Perfect timing. Not only can they get the run, they can secure the extra shields as well. But Guardian's not going to worry about it. Let a teammate handle it. Tossing pre-nades in, hopefully cutting off overextenders. He's now past the double door, just about in the clear here. One last little line of defense. We're going to see out of McFine to try to stop this, but I honestly don't know if it's enough. As I say, a Nasty Bullet does die. Magico here to try to get the kill, but he can't get to that flag in time. Return coming in. He gets a crucial trade. Kill comes in. Yohan, you'll get the touch. And what could have been bad is saved by Sintenegra. They'll take the lead.
Where did Yohan come from? He came off respawn through the big doors. Somehow able to nade one-shot that player. Still get a touch, gain the lead for his team, but what a favorable spawn, I'd have to say. Yeah. For Yohan there. Not without the great play behind it, but the opportunity that he had. A massive one, and he took advantage of that opportunity now. Sintenegra, when we joined, they were down 1.
Beautiful.
Now they're up 2-1, looking like a find oil machine here.
Wow. I don't know what's up with Yohan today, but the man's been...
He's on.
He's been popping off, right? Like multiple times we've seen this man go crazy, and I think the grapple, a big part of it too, is just players not expecting him to get as aggressive as he is, and he's finding free headshots because of it. Magico, I mean, he just pulls off too. He's still staying alive. He's drawing their attention. They do kill him, but in the process, here come the rest of his team to clean up what's left. Guardian rightfully going to play this carefully, though that Dynamo will make things a little trickier. And with his shields at this point, he is a little screwed.
Good job by McFine to get out of that situation. It looked like Sintenegra, in all honesty, was going to get a flag on the move with a couple more kills. But McFine plays some good defense. Still a lot of work to do. 2 minutes left, Shaway, and we need a flag cap to tie this one up, potentially get to overtime, and Overshield going in the hands of Alex Shock could be exactly what you need. You want to see some teammates around him. Unfortunately, he loses Sparty. He loses Aperture. No. He's right next to a player. Oh, that could have been bad. But he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be surrounded, though. You have to think Magico running for his life, at least making him work for it. That's allowed Yohan to get some great damage from behind. Even just staying alive, turning the corner.
Nice.
That's a big one. Alex Shock with a beautiful headshot. 4 momentarily dead as Magico coming off respawn in the shotgun location. It's going to be Guardian behind him as well. They've chosen to overextend this flag. It's actually going to go towards the shotgun right to him. That could be the biggest mistake.
Oh, no.
Spartan today is that flag now in such a bad spot. It gets stopped. What looked like a phenomenal chance to tie this one up with a minute left on the clock is shut down because you chose to run it towards the spawns. With an icon over your head, that grenade one shot, it's too easy for him, and Guardian shuts it down himself.
Unfortunately, that might be the last opportunity they get unless they play this well here. Mental needs to stay alive. Pressure's coming in. He goes straight in for the melee. He takes a kill, but it's a trade. Another one comes through. Guardian with it. Sparty needs to clutch up on this kill, and he won't. Look who wins the fight. It's Johan, and I think that might be the fight for the game there, Wes.
He's got 29.
Wow.
29 against these guys. It was one thing when he was popping off against some of the other teams throughout today, but to do it against McFine, that's even the most impressive feat he's done. And to potentially give his team a 1-0 lead here in the elimination finals, that's everything Johan wants. I mean, Magico's not far behind him, so those two having a hell of a performance, but it's a team effort on Bazaar as well.
But in the
they
final,
do get the touch.
Yeah, final 6 seconds, touch in from Alex Shock, but Alex Shock definitely in a lot of trouble. He's going to get tag teamed here. He's now down for the count. Flag still out. They got to touch it, though, very quickly, and Guardian on top of it. Sparty! Yeah, there's no way. He makes it. 2 turn into 3 as Guardian just a wall of defense. I think I know why he called himself Guardian at this point, Wes. What a way to lock down game 1, thanks to Centenegra here, right? Not what you'd expect to see on paper, and in a best-of-3 series, what a way to kick it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Centenegra's stoked to come out on top of that. They were down 1-0 early. And ever since then, they kind of just had momentum, right? Very rarely did we see McFine in a favorable position to get some of the objective done. It was that one flag run that they chose to try and run at bottom shotgun, but I feel like the only time you do that is when you block bottom shotgun, right? Or you have somebody that's fragging out down there.
Right.
You definitely don't want to be the forerunner on that flag run with the flag. The guy with the flag, I'm saying, is not supposed to be the first guy that clears shotgun. But
I think you got to drop it and bait or something, right? I think it was a weird situation in general, though, right? Like it was one guy down there, but the rest of them splitting around the map. So just there was a lack of coordination, I think, in the moment.
Well, I think one overextended, and then the second guy was Guardian. He spawned down there. And he started to overextend. You saw his nameplate moving towards the bottom shotgun of the enemy team, and then I think there was a realization and he recognized, hey, they're actually running it this way. Like they're running it bar, out towards the side. The indicator is giving this guy away, and he's like, all of a sudden it's coming down to him. That's my cue to turn around and use this as an opportunity to stall this flag from being run, and all he needed was that one kill. Gave him a numbers advantage, gave him every opportunity. That flag was stuck in a terrible spot. So a mistake that McFine has got to be kicking themselves. But if we know anything about this team, they've looked good outside of that one poor decision. So we'll see how this game 2 is going to take off. We're already in and underway. Centenegra off to a very successful start. I'd say 4-3 shock rifle in the hands of Nasty Bullet. What can he do?
Gonna have to deal with his player below him, and he will be dealt with. That's Sparty, who receives a shot to the brain. Guardian with a kill as well. So 7-4 to start the game in Centenegra. They're letting us know this is not just a fluke win. They're still hitting shots, keeping them back.
Gotta stay alive, though. Don't want to overextend here. Good job by him to grapple out of dodge. Knows he's about to receive a lot of pressure probably over at the spikes. You know how bad some of the players on McFine want this shock rifle, especially out of the hands of Nasty Bullet. Sparty's coming at him. He's got the Needler.
It's so scary.
It honestly is terrifying. That weapon is no joke in close quarter combat, and that pipes area is the perfect location for it.
Oh, but that's a perfect nade to deal with Sparty. Nice little ground bounce, blows up right at the jump up. Even if he's hiding in the corner, he's going to get licked a little by the damage. Because of it, he lives for another opportunity here. Let's see him close a shot. We're not quite going to hit aperture. Immediately backs off. You got to love the evasive play here. He's just been locking down pipes the whole game. Even if he's not necessarily getting kills, he's annoying the enemy team. He's drawing their attention. He's now got a new opportunity to try again with Yoan to keep things focused away from him.
Let's stay on board with Nasty Bullet, but I mean, we got to talk about Guardian already. 7 kills to his name. So after some phenomenal individual plays in game 1 of this series, statistically popping off here at the start of game 2. We talked about how well Nasty Bullet, how well Magico and Johan were playing. The entire Cincinnati squad is going to have to play great to beat this team, you have to think, and doing just that as of yet.
Wow.
The 1-kill game. Camo is secured. Pairing it with Sword is Magico now. Going to get Repulsor as well, it looks like. You want to try and cut the distance on some of these players with this camo. Unfortunately, spotted out. Just the route predicted from Alex Shock. Catches him in the tunnel and knocks him down on what could have been a massive power swing with that camo sword. Is immediately shut down. That's a big kill from Alex Shock.
That's the thing, too, is, you know, sure, he wanted to grab that repulsor, but do you stick to that low ground approach, you know, knowing that you just want to fight, a crucial fight on sword, and that your opponent's going to call it, and they might predict your route.
Yeah.
So he doesn't end up living in that situation. Instead, we've got what was a dominant opening from Sintenegra is no longer now. A little lead flip, thanks to McFind. Guardian Flies caught himself in tower here. Good sightline, but not against someone like Sparty. You got to watch your face. He's already hitting shots here.
No, he got sorted from behind.
Oh, you know what?
It was perfect timing.
It was good timing.
It was perfect timing.
If anybody's going to peek shot snipe you, it's Sparty. So I fully
might as well.
Yeah.
We could just pretend that Sparty hit the shot. It was just a second too late, right? Knowing Spartan how lethal he is with this one. Does he expect the player to come upstairs? Good shot in front, too. He's surrounded. Jeez. That was beautiful by Sintenegra. Actually, the SWAT team in the pipes.
That's how it feels when I play matchmaking. Not gonna lie. You walk forward a step and then just like 3 angles, the perfect triangle defense or what is it, offense?
You know, if you don't get that pick and it's too quiet, it's too quiet for a reason.
They're all about the conversion. Here's the pick that matters, though, right? Guardian popping out with camo.
So another camo into Sintenegra's hands.
No, he didn't hit the slide.
Lack of power-up prioritization. And although we haven't really seen too much success with camo, right? At least they're keeping it out of the hands of McFind. One thing to not use your power to express it directly in the scoreline, but it's another thing to not have the option at all. On the side of McFind, still up 5 kills on McFind, though, trying to tie the series up, trying to make it to the grand finals, something they expected to do at the start of the day, but they didn't expect to run into a hot Guardian. And Johan, that's for sure. They've been on fire today.
Still 6 kills separating them, though. They do have the favorable side of the map. We'll see if they can lock it down. You got Guardian down bottom. Mangler, he didn't last long. Quick little cleanup thanks to 2 players. Sparty gonna pop shots into Attic. He's already got a teammate over there to get aggressive, and you can see Aperture beside him does have a sword, so if they dare challenge control, they are in trouble, but the shock in the hands of Johan. He's not having the greatest game here, but Johan was popping off. Remember, he had a 30 bomb in Bazaar. I'm kind of curious to see what he's up to with that shock rifle.
Oh, he hit shot, it. Doubles back, re-peaks. Sparty, if you're gonna stand there, you're gonna take it. Johan. Delivering a message. Getting back into this one. Down 5 kills. A lot of work to still do. But Johan, one of the most impressive players today, and rightfully so. We're seeing it on screen. The nade.
Nice.
What a good job by Spartan. Just inch his way up as he's crouched. To not take any grenade damage there. If I'm Sintenegra, I want to slow this one down and let Johan go to work.
I do have to say that little movement from Spartan as he almost got his head clean. He's still there, by the way. Johan, can't win the fight. That's a clutch one by Mental. But that little movement from Spartan on stacks is, like, honestly what separates, like, an Onyx from a top-level player. Like, as simple as that is, you know what I mean? Like, just the little shimmy to guarantee he has no answer with the nade on the left-hand side, and not so much that he reveals himself.
It's to predict it, and what is my only play?
Exactly. He puts himself in the only possible location he can put himself, where it's, like, near impossible to kill him, basically. And because of it, we're looking at 46-37. So, yes, we saw a dominant opening from Sintenegra on Bazaar CTF, but very different story this time around as Sparty McFly wants to remind us he's here.
It's only a matter of time for Spartan to start popping off. 17-6-7 in a closeout game for Sintenegra to potentially get to the grand final. Spartan steps up, denies that. from being a truth. Now with 2 more kills, they're going to find themselves in another game 3 here today.
Nice.
Great stick's going to come through. Unfortunately, teammate just gets a death instead. But 50-38, McFine get the job done convincingly there towards the mid and late game heroics of Spartan and the boys, and pushing this series is the distance. I feel like we're seeing a lot of game 3s here today.
Yeah. Can't complain about it. Very curious to see where this one goes, though, right? Stronghold Streets, a lot closer quarters, a lot faster paced. It looked like Sintenegra definitely had a lock on Bizarre CTF when it comes to the, the kind of rinse and repeat game plan, the, tower attack strategy that they had won it just about every single time. Yeah. This is different, though. The rotational gameplay of Streets is very quick. You got a lot of little lanes to intercept, throughout the game and flank constantly, especially if you got the shotgun, the thrust and control. And we saw some of those, last second plays at a Spartan. Those are the types of things that I think bring you ahead. Those like last second sticks before death, getting into fights, staying alive in very difficult situations, stuff like that is going to just allow you to inch away. So we'll see if Sintenegra can kind of hold on. They've proven that they did in Bizarre, but of course, momentum shifted at this point in the series.
We'll see. Stronghold Streets is going to be a very fast-paced game, and it's just like, how well-defined is McFind? I would expect these guys to be flying. It's like, does Sintenegra bring that same level of pressure is the question, and I think they may. I think they're going to be on the same page as far as what they want to do, knowing that they're like a consistent team that's played together before, and these guys like know each other very well. I'm not quite sure how well McFind know each other, and as a point of how they want to play an objective game, right? And I think like in the Slayers, it's obvious. We slay out, we get kills, we go together, we capitalize on each other's damage. But in objectives, there's a lot of decisions to make as far as what we're going to prioritize and like when we're going to flip the map, what routes are we taking, things like that become more important in order to get the objective done. It's not all about just shooting right as a skill set. So maybe something that Sintenegra had as an advantage in Bizarre CTF is once again an advantage here in Street Strongholds. But if we've learned anything today, Shyway, it's that no lead is safe. We've seen over 150 point comebacks almost multiple times here today, and I would love to see another one, but it would break someone's heart for that to happen, especially if it means losing a ticket to that grand finals.
Definitely. I think when you put them head to head, on paper, the individual skill, pretty clear. Sparty's team does have that. But on Sintenegra, you've got defined roles, which I think is the biggest thing that you kind of alluded to. Sintenegra are going to come into this game, ideally with a starting strat, with a game plan. And Sparty's team looks like a Sauna 8's lobby, right? Like these boys, they'll bring it together and and figure out stuff on the fly, but nobody's got an exact defined objective in the game. It's just who can pop off, make the big plays, kind of fill in the gaps when they need to, and that could result in little openings, I think, for Sintenegra if they can find the control. But if you don't win those pivs, those 1v1s, it ain't gonna go your way. So Aperture. He'll come out with 2 to start the game. That is the type of pressure you expect to see at a McFind. But like you said, 4 dead. Sintenegra, they answer even stronger.
Yeah, you thought Aperture getting a double was going to mean good things for McFind. Unfortunately, as soon as he goes down, he looks around. Everyone's been removed. Guardian, he's found himself a nice kill on a Spartan. So taking Spartan out of the equation here for at least the first 40 seconds of the game is a major plus. Spartan does spawn in the back of tower, too. He could just eat another rocket, be 0-3.
Weird looking. Is he okay, or is he just walking to the wall? Okay, fair.
He's just walking to the wall.
That's not how I usually play Halo, but I can't doubt Guardian on his play.
We know you'd be sliding.
Yeah, I would have slid off the vending machine. I would have slid right off the vending machine like 30 seconds ago. But yeah,
kind of a blunder though. I wish he had just stayed where he was. Like you could tell how comfortable he felt on top of that box over towards shotgun. Right? It's the second he peeks out, he gets weak. Because he gets weak, he loses that rocket. And now with that, that was the opening McFine needed in order to get some kills in their favor. Just a missed overstep, I would say. Shifts momentum back into McFine's favor to gain control for now. But 48 points is solid for Sintenegra. It's just a matter of can they break this setup and how quickly will they be able to do it.
Ooh. Comes out with a trade. Yeah, one-on-one. Sparty against Sparty, and he takes a nasty bullet. Beautiful. Little win,
He had
but
the
the
thrust.
second, yeah, he did have the thrust. That's fair. But it's not enough to stop Alex Shock there from picking up the pieces. Yoan, though, thankfully going to find a little opening to get to A. Mental will pester him. Yoan now in trouble. Yeah, oh, that's a dangerous slide to go for, and you got to love the Mental is so ready to hit it. But can he take two? Oh, not quite.
Can't take two. 3 down from McFine once again, and the second rockets come up, they get the kills.
Jeez.
Somehow, some way, Aperture, last guy alive, at least gets the rockets out of the equation, right? Doesn't find kills, gets a guy to no shield, but removes them because Centenegro should have been able to get rockets right there. Should have been able to hold what setup they have right now for a little bit longer, maybe a little bit easier with the use of rockets. Aperture erases that from the opportunity Centenegro would have as of right now. And we'll see if McFine are able to capitalize because Aperture made that play. Looks like they've done just that with the first kill over towards Arcade. A big job by Mental to stay alive, and they're going to be able to transfer B into their favor, all because of Aperture's ability to get those rockets as the last guy.
Oh, some very efficient looking play at a Mental there. Didn't quite come together, though. He did the damage. We'll see if they can pick up off of it. Centenegro are going to try to bait and switch their way into B here. You can see Magico doing exactly that as he bounces out. Going to get replaced with a teammate. Yoan does pick it up. Quite a brawl here in B, and something you expect to see on Strongholds. Typically, whoever can control B can anchor the rest of the map. And like you said, with 4 dead, McFine have found the space they need, not just for B, but to predict spawns and maybe get aggressive here.
Dropping the Stalker rifle for Spartan, the maturity and the awareness to understand, hey, Spartan, he's 1-7-6, but I want this weapon. I want this power weapon in his hands because we know what he's capable of. Spartan's going to use that. Gets a kill with the BR, but
oh my.
Mostly gets his confidence rolling here for game 3. You know, you need that from him. Immediately transitions from one player to another. Unfortunately, he was just by himself. I think he had lost all of his teammates right before all of those moments went down. Unfortunately, just not able to get anything going, and that's a great tip of the hat to Centenegro's ability to somehow, some way continue advantages in some of these positions. Second set of rockets goes in their hands, but Guardian can't get the kill, and that's going to be a transfer of the power going now into Aperture, but Magico with some great shots able to get that kill, and it's a one-on-one where one of them's in the stronghold, one of them's not, and that's always going to benefit the one playing the objective.
Jeez, what an exchange of events though that we just witnessed, right? Aperture picked up the rockets, but then he drop comboed the rockets to BR for some reason. Not sure if he meant to do it, but just wanted it out of his hands to take a fight. He died, put it on the ground. Sparty picked it up and then just died with it. So, you know, here we go. Trades continue. Just scrappy fights as McFine looks to get C, but they don't even succeed at that. Magico's going to slide and get the reset on it. So, looking like a close game to close out this series. Wes, I can't complain about it, but can McFine find an opening in this situation with 3 up?
Good job to stay alive by Magico. Good information he's able to receive, but this is going to be a B hit from McFind. Can you stop the pressure? Got a lot of players to deal with here. Fortunately, Guardian's got your back. You got some great shots yourself, and we're going to get the job done. Say Centenegra. They've gained the lead, and ever since that, they've been able to build what appears to be a 40-point lead now for the boys in blue here. It's the last game of the elimination elimination finals. This will punch a ticket to the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, and Centenegra are in the driver's seat.
Against a team of this caliber, that is no small task, you know, no small victory for them. The fact that they're locking it down, pretty massive here. So B&C still held, and Yoan making sure it stays that way. 3 dead. 1 more push we'll see out of McFine to try to get to these rockets with the little amount of time they have for it. But Centenegra, the hold that they have maintained here, Wes, I mean, they can't seem to find a break for it. Rockets are going to be the only answer, but they are going to risk getting in line of Yoan Stalker to get there. He's already picked up 1.
They need to win this trades because if they don't, Centenegra can use these rockets to snowball this setup for so long. They got multiple players stuck in the back of PD, and I love this by him, actually.
Nice.
Not only does he go back for the Stalker, just play your life, dude. Keep building this lead. It's 110 points. Double back eventually. Put the rocket to use. Now that you got a couple of kills in your favor, you're going for a trip cap. And see, it's going to be really difficult for McFine to try and gather. Because they're going to have a lot of pressure coming from bottom middle very shortly.
They're getting
Not
caught
only
in this
that,
cycle.
Guardians is behind him.
Yeah. They're just getting caught with their pants down here. They're going to get collapsed on a B as well as the last two try to rotate and get a save on it. But look at the pinch coming in from Guardian with that massive flank from the kill in C. He'll carry this through. They're going to get the B as well, 225 and counting, and that will disappear in just a matter of seconds. There goes Sparty. That 10 seconds on the spawn screen might be all that they need to close the game at this rate. Wes, we need to see something out of McFind immediately.
We've seen big comebacks today, but I don't know if this one's happening. Montenegro look too strong.
They got to see.
A and C are contested. There is a player in C. A couple of kills are going to McFind's way. And oh my God, they've got the stop for now. They've started to acquire some points, but Shyway, they need just about 170, 180 in order to get this one done. I'm not sure if that's possible, especially not if Guardian's still making plays like that. He takes down Aperture. They keep B in their favor for now.
Oh
McFine
my.
Still with a numbers advantage, but they have to act quickly. They have to stay on top of their rotations.
Sparty went absolutely massive in that situation. His entire team died, and he picked up all the kills from the damage that they put down. And it's the only reason why the hold is still in session. They did manage to get B off it as well. Johan still does have the stalker in the situation. Sparty now dead with him off the map. That is a crucial opening here. Defense still on B. Stalker shot's going to come out from Johan. Doesn't want him overextend himself, and as he does it, you see he will drop. Nasty Bullet gets out with the rockets, though. No dice on him, though. They still have time to work with. They just got to be so careful with how they play this. Things can definitely slip on. Like, if they... that's if they forfeit their lives and desperate. Things won't look good.
They almost need a trip cap, right? They're still down over 100 points. It feels like they've been battling for their tournament lives here for so long. Can they get the trade, Magico?
Okay, here we go.
With a little bit of help.
Sparty's
able to
up
hop
front.
into C. Spartan's on the way. Can he get the kill?
Saved
He gets it. And in the meantime, Mental, he's pushed the trip cap. Can't quite stay alive.
We got to get to A.
It's just Johan. It's just Johan right now.
Sparty, no.
It's saying it's just Johan would make you think that.
What?
It's not a hard task at all, but Johan's been such a handful to deal with. He needs to get into B. If they get into B, they're going to win this game. Look at that. Spartan tries to get there. 249.
Sparty.
To win it, but he can't stay alive. McFine, they're done. Montenegro are going to the grand finals.
That was almost so sick by Spartan. He got the kill, but of course he's one shot at the end of that's not too much he can do to stay alive and hold on to B. When we saw that energy, it was too late, though, Wes. Like, it's great from a viewership perspective, keeps us on the edge of our seat, but for them, it's like, this got to be anxiety, right? One tiny mistake, and that's it. They take the map back. They had so much free time to play with as well on the side of Montenegro, right? Like, they could afford to make a couple little mistakes because there was over a 100-point deficit. So, valiant effort by McFind. You got to give him some credit for that. But in the end of the day, on paper, you don't expect Montenegro to come out with that type of firepower. Even more credit you got to give to Montenegro for coming out with a win in that situation. I hope that they take that momentum and bring it to Torrent in grand finals because this should be one hell of a show.
They're going to need it. If they want revenge and a rematch.
For sure.
Here in the grand finals, like you said, going up against Torrent, looking strong. Just an absolute perfect way to close that series out, right?
Maybe the best
a
we've seen.
blowout win where there was an opportunity where it could have slipped, where you could have made mistakes. But you almost show some resiliency in your ability to remain patient and your ability to remain calm. Johan doesn't desperate for the stronghold. He's focused on one thing, and that's getting kills because he knows of how much room for error, like you're saying, he has. He knows the only way we lose this is if we just don't get kills.
Right.
If we get like 3 dead, then we're going to get a stronghold, right? Like that's just how it works. We're going to have way too many numbers in space. So he slows it down, picks up that kill at the top of the stairs, stays alive, doesn't go straight for B, like stays alive. And then his teammate, he's bought enough time for him to hop into the stronghold. He's able to 2v1 the next player coming up the stairs, and it's just like anybody else in that situation probably like desperately gets into B, and because of that they take a ton of damage, they get grenaded, whatever it might be. It's probably a much more difficult 1v1 with the first player coming upstairs. But true, like just like patience and professionalism, I would say, coming out of Johan there. And that's something that maybe we haven't seen from him in the past, but this is a different Johan here today, I feel.
From the team in general, though, right? Like, very patient, very well-coordinated play. Like, they had that defensive line from B to C for what felt like 2 minutes in that game, just locking it down. And of course, I think Johan, that main turret, like you said, with the stalker rifle, just hitting shots, keeping him back. But it definitely felt like there was a, kind of a confident role set for each player. There was no desperation in situations where, like you said, you'd see other lower level players get desperate. And I think it puts, or it really exposes the kind of, pickup team nature of Spartan squad, McFind, who don't kind of have those roles, or kind of, relying on their individual outplay ability to, break through and find those openings. So Sintenegra, a well-oiled machine in the end of the day, but so is Torrent. And Torrent, I know they've been, switching through a couple different members of their roster. They got Piggy this time around, and I think another recent entrant as well instead of Huss, right? But in the end of the day, they've played before already. Torrent has faced Sintenegra. They took this one in a close series. I wonder if that last series we just witnessed changes things. If Sintenegra have a new, lease on life, a little bit of momentum here. Of course, on screen, Wes, we know it's a best-of-3 series, even though it is grand final. So Torrent, they can win this and win this very quickly, but it also means the bracket could be reset very quickly as well. So if Sintenegra can find just a little lease on life, a little bit of momentum, 4 wins is all they really need to take this thing.
Can they get it done? Because earlier today, these two teams played in the winners finals and went in favor of the side of Torrent. And Torrent probably is pretty confident going into this, knowing that they've already taken down the Sintenegra squad already today. But both these two teams, well-deserved finishes here, no matter what happens in the grand finals, because they both look so strong. Sintenegra, no matter what happens in the grand finals, if you're not able to take down Torrent, it's like you're still able to hang your hat on some of the victories you did get throughout the journey here today. On the side of Torrent, you want to get the job done, but with how well Sintenegra has played and with the wins and series that they've had, it's no surprise to them that, hey, this is going to be a battle. This one's not going to be a pushover.
Right.
I'm looking forward to jumping into this one. I think Live Fire Strongholds is a very promising opportunity for us to see some real momentum gained here for the potential of Sintenegra. And on the side of Torrent, you can make a statement by coming out and building up a very significant early lead against a team that you would think is riding a very high momentum train from that previous elimination finals.
I do think Sintenegra are in a better spot here for game 1, at the very least, though. They've got momentum coming off of that past series, and Strongholds, as far as what we've seen in this tournament, for whatever reason, has been a weak game type for Torrent. They have lost, or they've been winning and then choked 2 Strongholds back-to-back, one being against Sintenegra on Recharge, and then another against ESA Red on Live Fire. So unless something's changed and they're ready to lock one down this time, I think Sintenegra maybe have a little window to kick things off with some momentum. That might give them the confidence to get the ball rolling, close it out, maybe get a bracket reset. I expect it to be close either way. West should be exciting. Of course, we'll jump in as soon as the lobby is ready. Understand that, of course, Sintenegra just came off their win, so they got to jump in to a new lobby. Once that's ready, we're going to jump, of course, into the game here. And then once they get going, they go quickly, Wes. You blink and you miss it sometimes.
Some of these Halo Infinite game types, these map mode combinations, like you're saying, are 5 minutes tops, right? You don't get a lot of time, especially if the other team just has complete control in a strongholds. If the trip cap happens and they hold it, you blink and you're done. Yeah. So not a lot of opportunity there to potentially express your abilities. If you can't get momentum in your favor early on, you can preach how important starting strats are, how getting the overshield at the very start is, right? What that can mean for your potential. Doesn't always transition into that big of a lead and that monumental occasion, but it's possible. Every single time these guys get into a trip cap situation, the game could just be over, right? Like we've seen it at the highest level. That's why these leads throughout even today's show are not safe, because the second that a team gets control, they may never lose it in strongholds. If they play perfectly, they probably won't. But perfect Halo is difficult, right? So how often are these guys able to implement the perfect strategy where they just suffocate their opponents, they stagger the respawns correctly, they split the spawns correctly, and like how long can they keep that perfect equation going? On the I think both these two teams are very capable of putting that work to practice. I think we've seen it from both of them so far today, as well as some of these stronghold map control opportunities. They've run away with it, and maybe that's a little knock to enemy team's ability to get out of these situations. But step 1 is getting into it. Step 2 is I guess, holding it. And then I guess step 3 is when you lose it, how quickly can you get it back?
Sure. Right. That's probably the biggest thing, is having like an immediate counter strategy in play. If that's like, taking multiple members outside through OS side to overextend to C and maybe try to take the map from that position, whatever it is, to bounce back. It really seems to come down to reading spawns and those crucial mistakes in the end of the day too. If we rewind back to this series in winners finals, what made and like broke the series essentially was that one oddball play that came off of a poor spawn read with the ball held back B, right? The entire team, I think it was Johan who was holding the ball maybe as well.
It was.
In back B, and his entire team rotates to OS, and they somehow win all their fights, take OS. So, on paper, this is great. They got OS, they got ball, but ball's all the way on green. His enemy team's outside. That forces the spawn out right beside Nest, right beside where he's sitting in green, and he's not in position to play the ball. So little just awareness cues and spawn predictions can flip the game, and if you don't play that ball and they carry it for the next, 30 seconds, I think they lock the game out off that one little opening. Same thing happens in strongholds. One little misplay, and you get them caught on split spawns, and like you said, you're just kind of suffocating them. Everything becomes predictable from the perspective of the one setting the pace.
Here we
Things
go.
can barrel out of control pretty quickly. So here we are, grand finals. Who will set the pace, be proactive in this one? It's going to be very important in winning the game.
Does look like Cincinnati is going to have the early slay advantage, but respawns from Torrent by the overshield could mean that they're able to secure this one. Actually, if we don't see Cincinnati rotate, and they do actually get a good rotation, there's a couple of players here for Torrent to deal with. That's 3 dead, and now all of a sudden overshield is going to go into the hands of Torrent. So what looked like a early control for Cincinnati is going to give him 20 plus points, but you have to think that that's going to change as B's being transferred over. The slays come through for Torrent, and so does the overshield.
Heatwave going to drop down as well. Guardian Flies will lose it. Torrent with the control of the map and the weapons as well. You start to wonder, does that kick off a little snowball for them? Filthy G just waiting for spawners from outside. Look at the easy kill he gets off of that prediction as well, though it does drop immediately. That's going to give Cincinnati an opportunity to get today, but they're not safe in A. You can see Parzelli just being a turret, going to keep them back. That type of pressure makes it very difficult to walk away with any form of map control. Rotation to B comes in. Parzelli with a great opportunity to get aggressive here. He's going to have to face 2, and he's got to do it quickly.
One of those guys I don't feel like we've given enough credit over the past couple weeks, Parzelli. He's been playing well. Unfortunately, he gets taken down there. That's Cincinnati and a trip cap opportunity. How long can they hold it? Already regained the lead. A beautiful repulsor.
Nice.
The second grenade rocks him, but catches that player off guard. 52-39. Climbing. Overshield coming up as well. So if you can keep map control and secure this overshield from Cincinnati, you give your team a chance.
Oh.
To get an early lead, potentially reset this bracket as fast as possible. You know that's the goal.
Chance definitely given to Cincinnati here as well. And such a chance, you can see that Johan doesn't even pop the OS immediately. He's waiting. He found the perfect opportunity. Now looking to get very aggressive with it, too. Knows the spawners are back B. He's just going to go straight beeline to it. Repulsor to work with as well. Nasty Bullet with a kill to help him out. Already shots in the back tower. There's another victim just waiting to be killed. Johan will take it. I mean, we've said it time and time again. He's just making a lot of the right plays and clutching up when he needs to. And look at the result. 108 and counting. A hot start here for Cincinnati.
As good as it gets, I would think. The trip cap ends. The good damage done. 118 points in climbing. This repulsor just continuously being put to use. Killing spree for Johan as well. 3 members on Cincinnati already over 7 kills. And this feels like it's pretty quick to be at that point in the game. Showing you that they can slay with the best of them right now. They want to keep control of B. Oh. Unfortunately, Guardian can't quite get the kill until it's just a second too late, but he takes Hotshot Ghost down right after. And that double kill is going to swing B right back into their favor, but I love this by Guardians. He's going to allow his teammate to hop into B. Going to react to callouts over towards the Brutes, finds another one, puts 3 of them in respawn.
Really high awareness play here at a Guardian. Going back, knowing the spawns are open outside. So now he's coming right back into the fight here, getting a flank position for it too. Heat wave out. Somehow right below the guy. He gets two.
Way.
That's a second kill on Hotshot. He had no business getting, right? The one behind the pillar. Hotshot's got heat wave. He shoots him twice with the BR. Somehow gets the melee. This time Hotshot jumps over his head. And he still gets the kill here. It's created an opening for the OS as well. Don't tell me Guardian turns it into another. At least this time they got 2 BRs to deal with the man. He wouldn't go down. Magico's here with perfect timing, though, just to mop it up. And that's an OS in their hands, 173 and counting in Torrent. We knew this would be close, but we didn't know it would be a landslide side Centenegra here.
Another trip cap at risk here. The overshield player, he's going to guarantee that a trip cap is at least going to happen momentarily. Finally secures the kill on the Piggy, but although Piggy did a ton of damage there, nobody trades the kill out, and what that does is just staggers Piggy's respawn a little bit longer. I believe this is Piggy coming off spawn, and look what position he's been found in. And I guess they know that was Filthy G, but still. 226 to 47. One of the biggest victories we've seen. And this is back-to-back dominant stronghold performances from Centenegra, if we're including the elimination.
Oh, my.
Finals there. Finally, Torrent respawn. They get 4 dead, but I mean, we've seen some crazy things today, Xiaowei, but I don't think this one's going to happen.
It would have to be some beautiful synchronized play to see it. You know what? I wouldn't put it by anyone on Torrent to pull it off. The interesting factor, though, is the fact that they tend to be the ones dominating and then, choking in the last couple seconds. They have an opportunity to create a complete reversal of this right here. And Filthy G staying alive so important. He knows his player's nearby. That player being a tricky target. He'll slide right by him. They'll whiff each other. In the end, he comes out on top, and that's all that matters. A and B now held because of it. They'll rush to C to try to stop the bleeding here, but this puts them right in the crosshairs, basically, of Filthy G. He'll be patient with it, but with their numbers, you can see them starting to really get together on this play. Hotshot in a great flank position, too. He's already picked off Magico.
Overshield in 5. This is such a difficult situation because if you go towards that overshield, you relieve a lot of the pressure you would have put on the potential respawners. They're going to be able to transfer C back, and that drop wall saves his life. 3 dead. They get overshield as well. They get a snipe in hand. Can they stop A?
Oh, they can.
Do it. The kneecap. It's done. Nasty bullet. He's taken down. Another one goes down from Centenegra. I like this. He backs up towards the window. He expects spawners over towards the brutes. Because of it, he finds the first. Where are they spawning now? Elbow, big door. And the rotation immediately. Look how fast Hotshot Ghost is to get over to the other side of the map. Oh.
Yeah, so close. Still with an opportunity, though. He'll hit another.
It's okay to lose B. It is not okay to lose your life because right now you have no room for error.
Yeah.
And because he goes down, that could be the opening. They get across bridge safely. Nasty bullet finds one. Oh, overextends, I would say, towards the back tower.
Pressure.
They get C, though.
They do get C for how long, though? Traded out, back B here. Hotshot will take it. He needs to get into B, though. They're running out of time here. 41 and counting. That's a crucial double, but get yourself in the cap while you can. Someone behind him and in front of him. Triple. Last player right beside him. The teammate will get it, but either way, big plays made to get the map back here.
We go.
They gotta put the Nikes on, though. They gotta move quick, right? Rotation coming in through A. Little bait and switch to get there. Parzelli with a big kill. BC held down. They got high ground. I like the patient play here, too. Let them come to you.
They're going C.
Yep.
They have the right read.
This is doable.
You got to trust your instincts here. They're going to C.
Beautiful.
That's a big pick on a solo B player. Magico.
Oh, my
testing
God.
his luck there.
It's happening.
But look at that C.
Not capped.
They stop it. They stop it. They get the trade. But respawners have had time to get to big door. There's one back B. It's a big kill by Parzelli, but he's got more work to do.
Parzelli trying to lock it down back B here. Does go to the spikes. Like the attention to detail. That OS just popped up. There's a fight for it. Parzelli, I'm not sure if he got out. Sorry, Filthy G.
No, Filthy G just got it.
He might have. Well, either way, he's dead.
Wait a minute.
2 players in C, though, to collect it. A and C now capped. They got a couple seconds to get into a hill right now. C is the play, but they're dead. They can't get there. And that little opening Centenegra created was enough to stop that relentless pressure at a Torrent West. I definitely started to become a believer towards the end of that. Unfortunately, one one tiny little mistake, one tiny mistake in timing and positioning, and that is all that it takes to have things lose out. You know what? I don't know what it is about strongholds with Torrent specifically. Like, either they get a huge lead and it evaporates, or now they had a huge comeback and didn't quite see it through to the finish. They just have these, they're keeping us on the edge of our seats, I guess, in the end of the day here, but a close one to start the series.
As close as it gets, honestly, and it wasn't that the entire way through. Sintenegra get the job done, at least in game 1. They need another map win here in the next 2 in order to reset the bracket, get back to another best of 3 where they can actually win this whole thing. Recharge Slayer is something we saw them fall short to against Sparty and the boys, though. So gonna need to get a Recharge Slayer on the books, a dub, because I think if this one goes the distance, I would favor Torrent in an Aquarius CTF. But only time will tell. I think if we look back at that game 1, and although Torrent had that magnificent attempt at a comeback, the battle for Overshield was kind of an overextension in a sense, right? It was that you're spreading your resources too thin. Filthy G was by himself over towards the Overshield.
That's the risky part. Yeah.
It was the 2 players. All right, so they clear out B, and I know it's very difficult to try and picture, but they pushed big door. 2 players pushed big door, and you spotted 2 players jumping in A. They got those players weak, but they did not kill those players. They backed up because it was about even damage traded, and they didn't want to mistake. There's no room for mistakes. What you have to do in that situation is you have to push those players in house. You've got to get those 2 kills because Overshield was coming up. You got to get that Overshield and then transition it.
Right. So you're saying quick rotate from B to house and then maybe help Filthy on the OS from the other side is what you're saying?
Yeah, it would have been a sandwich situation.
Right. Didn't quite happen. Instead, we could continue to reminisce about that game or jump into the next, because Yohan has already got a triple to open this, a perfect kill and a camo grab. He's 4 kills in, only Slayer on the team, and I mean, he just keeps making statements no matter where he is, what time it is, the man's popping off.
Yohan has had an unbelievable performance today, and 6-0. Doesn't expect another player to be there, but so hot of a start for Yohan. Finally, another Sintenegra member gets on the board. It's Magico to gain the lead by 1, but Filthy G with the shock rifle in hand could tie this one up in just a moment's notice.
Oh, and that's exactly what he does. 7th kill on the board, looking for 8. He'll back off, rightfully so. Nades coming in. Pressure from Sintenegra. They are not afraid of the shock. And Filthy G might need to put the fear in him. Ooh, just tags the shoulder. Cleanup still comes in. That's a spree. Shock now down on the floor. Remaining 2 players here on Torrent. They're in a bit of trouble. Hotshot, I like the movement here. Isn't enough. Man, he got his... Oh, he got like a little moment where he's like, I'm safe. And then Yohan said, nope, about to put you out of your misery. Whoa.
11-9, so Sintenegra starting this one off strong enough. I mean, at least Yohan is. 8 kills already. At this pace, he's dropping 40.
Starting to look that way. Still putting the damage in. Not too much that player can do in the corner. You like to see him ice up and hit the shot before dying. Trades coming in. Was that a stick to the face? It was.
Yeah.
Little blue screen on the Hotshot Ghost. That puts him down. Guarding with a crucial 1v1 that he won't come out on top of. Parzelli, that's a big pick. Camo is now up. And I'm not sure who's walked away with that new camo. You can see Torrent converged around it. Hotshot, actually, I think he's got it on his body. So Hotshot might be rotating out with that camo, and that's a big opportunity. He does have it.
He's going to choose to push into bottom BR. We're seeing it all from Parzelli's screen.
Oh.
Hotshot gets one in the feed. Parzelli wins a big one as well. 3 down for Sintenegra. And that power up, allowing that opening to find these picks. It's a 4-kill swing. All of a sudden, Torrent now in the lead by 4.
Scrapples his way back to safety, back pipes. That'll make a spawn elevator for him. You can see they're already wrapped around it, too. Good pinch opportunity. Hotshot, unfortunately, he'll die first, though. Parzelli already weak. Can he take this fight? A little bit risky. Not quite with the... What's happening with these little swipes with the reticle? Not exactly where you want to land them. Thankfully, Piggy comes in to pick up off that one, so now he's gotten the space to work with. We'll see what he can make off of it. This is the ideal setup here for Torrent. Spawners up back C. Sintenegra, it's up to them to find an opening, and who else but Yohan to do it?
If you're Yohan, you kind of want to take this game into your own hands, right? You want to try and create
With
the
your own
separation,
fists,
pushes
yeah.
into pipes, basically Gets a kill by himself. Got another player to finish him off, however, and a trade's not going to be good enough, especially with the way the rest of this game has been going. 25-16. What was once just a 1-kill lead for Centenegra in the early teens, now flipped completely on its head. Torrent seemed to have gained control and footing here in the grand finals.
They're just not letting them get access to these high points on the map. You can see they keep trying their hand. Nice little 2-player push through red here. Might give them a little opening, but the defense has been strong here. Camo now up as well. Centenegra in a solid position to contest it, but they're dying pretty damn quickly here. Numbers advantage. I believe Torrent is multiple trade out. They're already bottom mid for the camo. Parzelli needs this pick. Where did the camo go, though, in that exchange? I didn't get to see it, Wes.
Magico may have it, or Magico killed the player that just activated it. One of the two, but either way, Magico getting taken down is going to guarantee that camo, it's off the board for the next minute and 30. Nothing to worry about here, folks. Nothing to see. Keep it moving. Pick it up if you're on Centenegra, because right now, Yohan got to be frustrated. You feel like you're doing a good job of finishing some kills.
There we go.
Playing fairly well. Gets a couple more, making it 14, but still just being down 8 kills when you have 14 is a tough mentality to stay locked in.
Definitely want to lock this one out from this position. It's been difficult to get here, but now they've got the ideal setup they've been looking for. Up to Torrent to try to find their opening. You see already 2-position long haul. 1 control, 1 back C here. They're tagging it out, too. Good plays out of Yohan just to keep knowledge in the favor of their team. The biggest thing here would be just working off of the damage in the cross. Yeah, you can see Torrent honestly just kind of respecting the timer, playing it as slow as possible. They might as well with the advantage they've got in kills.
It's an Esports Arena Monday tournament. These guys are slowing it down like it's a World Championship Grand Finals Game 11.
It's about more than just the money, Wes.
You love to see it. Hey,
yeah.
Prepare. How bad do you want it? You can tell Torrent wanting to slow this one down, even with a significant lead, is just fine. Saying you got to come to us eventually.
And you see that starting to happen, right? Yohan like peeking into the lane there. That got a little risky because if that player comes out of nades, he gets 2v1. Now he's just getting pushed. So Torrent finding the little opportunity. They need Piggy and Filthy G gonna ice up here too. And all of a sudden that lead getting a little wider. There's the sword in the back pocket. Last thing Nasty Bullet needed in that situation.
Push him with the shock rifle. It's dangerous, and that's just why. You either hit the shot or you don't. And if you don't, you pay for it with your life 9 times out of 10. Just like that. Kills traded back and forth are only going to benefit Torrent. That's exactly what they wanted when they slowed this game down. They wanted you to come to them. They wanted you to bring the shock rifle across catwalk into BR. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea for us. They blow this one up. It's 10 kills to go with a 10-point lead. Torrent feeling very comfortable here in Recharge Slayer.
Despite all of this, Yohan has 16 kills, by the way. The man is definitely bringing everything to this. Yeah, he's right. Just outplacing the scoreboard at the moment, looking to add a little bit more to it. It just doesn't seem like enough to close the deficit at this point, but who knows? Maybe he can put on a miracle for us. He just got that shot right between two. A little bit unfortunate. There's the pickup you're looking for, though, right? His entire team cleans him up. Last player up, and I think he hears it. He's on the chase. This one player knows he's going to have to win a 1v1, and what a beautiful use of the plasma pistol in that situation, picking it up as he runs by. He gets the guaranteed kill.
Maybe not the most consistent weapon, but when it works, it's a thing of beauty. The plasma pistol finds that player, knocks him to no shield, and what looked like was a massive opportunity to cut it down to 6 with a shock rifle in the hands of Yohan. I mean, that's everything you could ask for, but a phenomenal job by Torrent to get that kill, keep this one in their favor. The lead's still 8 as they just need 4 now.
Wow.
Trying to get this camo, make it interesting potentially, but after the 46 mark, you really give yourself so little room for error. You want it to stay at about this. This comeback is going to be possible. The second it gets to about 48, it's just a matter of trading out damage.
They are still in territory where they can turn this around, though, and I think it's all coming off of, you know, Yohan and what he can put together with the sword, repulsor, and camo. And you'd like to hope that his team is not moving in this situation. You can see Nasty Bullet dead. Not ideal, right? If they aggress before he does and they die, and now he doesn't have an opportunity anymore, things starting to slip out of control. But Yohan looking for every single kill in the lobby here, and he's just not going to find it. It's not enough. Torrent will come out 50-42 in that game, tie the series, and put themselves on tournament point, Wes.
There's the Torrent that got to the grand finals through the winner's side of the bracket right there. They looked very strong throughout that entire game.
Yep.
And they even weathered the storm that, I mean, when a player's playing as well as Yohan was playing throughout that game, it's difficult to sometimes win. But when a player's playing that well and you're able to significantly still maintain a lead, that just even more so complements what you've been able to accomplish on your side, right? When someone's popping off very clearly with an enormous amount of kills or damage or just like production, and you're able to like all four, it's a team collective effort that's outperforming Yohan at that point. And that's no disrespect to the rest of the members of Centenegro, because obviously Yohan's picking up a lot of these one-shot kills. He's just playing very well himself, right?
Right.
It's a testament to Torrent's like ability to weather the storm in that sense.
Right. And like you said, just kind of being in the right place in the right time. His team is also, you know, we saw multiple moments too where he'd get like damage and his team would clean them up. Just in the very end, I think a lack of coordination, though, really, like there was a big opportunity, and maybe it wasn't even really his team as much as it was just Torrent recognizing, okay, let's get aggressive. Let's just clean these guys up before we give them space to make a play that could, potentially flip things around. By the time Yohan came back with all those resources, his team was already dead. There was not too much he could do. So here we are, Wes. We're in the end game at this point. Last game, potentially, of the tournament here. Aquarius CTF. We had kind of alluded to this coming in. On paper, it does feel like something where Torrent should be pretty comfy, but Centenegro, they've been full of surprises today. So I am looking for another at this point.
They've looked very good in their objectives so far today, so I wouldn't be shocked if they even can take this one. Magico, great job by him to take the grenade to the face, but still hit the shot, not get nervous or anything. Because of that, look, they have 4 kills already. Some of the starts for some of these guys, so impressive.
Oh,
not
until
a
that
frag grenade, Magico. Not a frag you thought it might have been.
He's trying to insta-explode himself.
No, the only reason you throw that off the bottom of the ground right there is if you think you're throwing a frag. Yeah, unfortunately.
But what's worse is usually you think it's a frag, so you throw it at the floor, and you're like, oh, that's not a frag, and you back up. He jumped as he threw it.
He was like, you know what?
I'm just dying.
We're going. Yeah, we're
holding forward at this point.
Change in mentality? No.
Man. Sometimes you
That's
just got to
tough.
take the L. You know what? Didn't Ryan Noob do something where he killed himself early in a Reach tournament and then got a favorable spawn, and that was all that was necessary? Who knows?
It was Halo 3, and actually, he might have done it in Reach on Nexus.
Yeah.
But I was doing that on Amplified in H3, and it would work some of the time. Some of the time I just die twice, so it's kind of a risk, but
kinda.
It wasn't really a good play by Ryan. Let's be honest. Killing yourself at the start of the game,
I mean,
probably not a good idea.
I will save my comment and just have no comment on it. I don't know. Instead, it looks like a flag's on the board while we're talking about it, though, right? 1-0 for this game already for Torrent. We talked about how comfortable they are in a map game type like this, and then they've already started with pressure. And about 3 minutes in, Centenegro feeling it. They still got plenty of opportunities to give us a show here, though.
Absolutely. Centenegro, what a win this would be for them. Especially to gain some confidence going into a potential MX Super not too far from now. These players.
Oh, my.
Magico wants to keep this flag alive. Potentially tie this game up. Unfortunately, just too many resources from Torrent are focused on where Magico is and specifically getting that return. They're going to push in front of the return, actually. As Piggy gets into the closet, he deals with a couple of players, and I say deal. He actually gets into the death cam, but the return does come through. That's the important piece of information you need.
How is he? Oh. Filthy G almost putting himself in position for a back smack there, too, but doesn't quite come out with anything. Hot shot. He'll get the kill he needs in that exchange, though. He does die immediately after. A couple trades going to ring out here left and right. Flag is pulled, though. That's a flag pulled by Torrent, but look at all the defensive players here to come get hands on it, or at least defend it. Somehow they took this long to find the guy, though. The Filthy G is the one, or sorry, maybe it's Piggy?
Piggy.
Yeah,
And
Piggy
he ends
who-
up getting a kill, too.
Who delayed them. For
they're
him
gonna
to
get a
do
touch.
that actually could translate to a flag. Just the fact that he stayed alive that long and got a kill and took the attention of the entire team. This is a dicey scenario here for Centenegra now.
Yeah, you can't take your time on killing the last guy alive. That guy needs to die fast and before he gets the touch, and somebody needs to hop the return too. Prioritization on making sure that flag is not in front of the base, because Torrent, they were able to get a touch there. They've got that flag all the way back to their base as well. Unfortunately,
it's going in.
The flag actually gets punched in. So good slays we saw from Guardian, but not enough to get the return. And small mistakes like that, they're going to bite you.
Yep.
Being down 2-0 is not what Centenegra fans wanted, not what these guys that want to push this to the second best of 3. They have to win this Aquarius CTF, and they have built themselves a massive hole early, being down 2.
They do have a flag this time, though, taking it through car side. They got a couple kills to pick off before they get there, though. There's 2 players still waiting back base for a last line of defense here. We'll see how that goes. Guardian Flies just went down. So did Yohan as well. That leaves Nasty Bullet a little bit by his lonesome here to get the defense. Flag already pulled. They're going for that run out front, but Magico just picked up 2 crucial kills from top mid. That'll completely slow their roll. Flag still moving, though. We need to see Nasty Bullet get some damage in on this. He does do that, but now he's in trouble. Pinch from multiple sides here. I do love the shots coming in. Guardian Flies there to help. Gets cut off. I believe that's Hot Shot Ghost. A line of defense on it. So despite the efforts here we've seen at a Torrent, I mean, Yohan just shredding. That's a flag standoff, though, off all this.
Look at Yohan. He wants more. He's got one. Unfortunately, the timing, he looks away to somehow reroute to the bridge because he chooses to try and take that different route. It's an easy kill. It shuts him down. That's a big kill on the side of Torrent. But right now, Centenegra, you got to win this flag standoff. Because if you don't, this could turn into 2, Shyway. You can get a cap, the return, and a flag on the move with the right slays at the right time.
Things start to get very deflating if you do lose this flag as well. It hits a 3-0, so just more fuel to the fire at this point to just keep this flag in play, get the win on these slays here. I think the camel going to be a big indicator of who walks away with that advantage. Of course, you got to give up numbers to get control of top mid. You can see Yohan Magico already converging around it. Nasty Bullet just going to be a turret back base. All he does is because he's got the commando back pocket. If he runs out of ammo here, expect him to stay here as long as he can. But you can see his teammates just dropping around him. I think Magico last one up, bottom mid. And he might drop shortly. This might be a barrage of pressure on the front gates in just a second here, yeah.
This is a moment where you decide, are you going to win the tournament? Are you going to push this to a second best of 3 or not? You got to get the return. And honestly, Shyway, the longer that this stalemate,
tug of war,
this flat, it just benefits Torrent at all times.
Yep. Uh-oh, here it is. 1v1 in the flag. Here's a little startled by it. Not ready for the first shot. Because of it, Parzelli comes out with a win on that. They're going to sit on top of it. They got 2 players on the flag for the return. What's happening in the opposite base, though? Is anybody there? Hot Shot is dead. I don't see the return in just yet, but it's mostly turned. They got a player on top of it. They're going to get it. Okay, so trade for trade could be worse, but flag immediately pulled by Torrent.
Centenegra had to get some slays. Looks like they're in pretty bad positions as well. The flag is going to be returned once again, but that means that player's bottom middle. That player's weak as well. Centenegra are pulling the flag across the map, but they got Parzelli still to deal with. Not only Parzelli, but the 2 players that have been alive in their flag for what feels like over a minute at this point in the game. Just getting a few kills, continuing the flag on the move, and with that flag being bottom middle, Slays benefiting Torrent once again. Dynamo grenades raining terror to the players top pink. There's a real opportunity for them to potentially get a 3rd flag cap, and Piggy's selflessness immediately grabbing the flag. 3 go down for Centenegra. And if they can get the return on this flag, and they should be in a good position in order to do so, they're going to make this a very difficult game because 4 minutes are remaining, Shyway, and you need at least 3 caps to get this one to overtime.
Heartbreaking for Centenegra here, Wes. They just keep trying their hand. It's just not quite working out. Little drop combo at a Piggy as he does find the headshot around the corner. Not going to be able to get his BR back. Doesn't seem to need it, though. Look at him just shred with the commando. Man's getting aggressive here, too. Slides straight into utility. You can just tell the confidence behind the gameplay of these boys. They already got another flag on the move here. They're getting slays as they do this. This 3 cap might turn into 4 in just a second. Defense is a Centenegra. They've been thinned down Nasty Bullet gets a kill. He'll die shortly after. Magico, I think the last line of defense to get any hands on this, but it's not happening. Wes, at this rate, is there even a chance for Sintenegra to regain here?
No shot, and it's off the back of who else other than Hotshot? Someone that typically when we watch these guys play, Hotshot's the best player on this squad. He's been quiet today, I would say, but what a better time to step up. In the closeout game of the grand finals, Hotshot GG with 21 to his name. Make it 22. Heat wave top middle as well, just positioning himself to
he's dead.
Continue the run he's on.
He's just kind of going ham at this point. Sintenegra getting a little bit ran at the end of this one. And just that relentless pressure, eventually it takes a toll. Eventually you snap, and it just seems like they did. Piggy is running away with the 5th and final flag, and the man's moving quick. He wants to get this over with. He wants that grand prize 600 in his pocket, and it looks like he'll get it. Torrent in a dominant finish. They're going to come out on top in grand finals today.
And rightfully so. They looked dominant there in that final game, but they did look like the best team we watched play all day, right? Lost a few strongholds throughout the day, but more importantly, we're able to rebound just every time after a disappointing loss. And that's what good teams do, right? Good teams can lose a game in a series and not let it affect the next game, right? I think that that's important. Strongholds live fire, obviously not the game that they wanted, but the fact that they even mustered a little bit of a comeback there gave you promise for their opportunity and recharge Slayer, and they took off right then and there.
Yeah.
I think everybody played phenomenal for Torrent throughout all of today as well, right? I think Hotshot was kind of quiet, which is odd because I feel like he's one of the more individual skilled players on that team, but the last game proves that wasn't the case. He didn't have too quiet of a day when he's dropping 25 or whatever it was there at the end. A phenomenal performance by that, and that's what it takes to win these tournaments. When we said that this was a very winnable tournament for a lot of teams here today, you needed someone like a Torrent to have everybody playing well and step up. If they wanted to truly win this thing, that's exactly what they did.
Right, and I think we got hints of Torrent and their potential last week when we saw Hotshot and team pop off and get, maybe 3rd or 4th place. I think one of the big differences between last week and now is just the slight team changes, right? Piggy was a massive component of the team today, and he was on Catalyst last week. He wasn't on this team last week, so I think that's definitely an advantage. Parzelli, I think, as well, might have just popped onto the roster recently also. So, it's just about finding that right chemistry, that little honeymoon phase. Either way, it looks like Torrent have it for today. They walk away the champions, well-deserved. I think, aside from that, though, Sintenegra, what a performance. It's not just about, Torrent and the fact that they won this. Sintenegra had to go through the gauntlet, taking out a team with Spartan and Aperture and, Alex Shock, a hell of a squad. On top of the Suspector team we had in there as well with Arctic and Tusk. Always one name escaping me. Either way, Wes, it was Septify. Either way, a lot of very talented players in this one. It does close out another ESA Monday, though. Of course, if you're new to this, thank you for tuning in. This is a 2-day-a-week type of gig. Monday is an open tournament. $1,000 down. Our winner just walked away with $600. Top 3 get some money. Anybody can sign up. Friday's exhibition match. So stay tuned for that. We've got our ESA Red, ESA Blue going head-to-head against some of the top talent in Halo Esports. Should be damn exciting. Wes, once again, pleasure casting with you. Any final thoughts before we send it back to Yeso?
No, I think both teams that made it to the grand finals well-deserved. Hats off to Sintenegra and how well they were playing as a team. I know we give Johan a lot of credit for having probably a better grand finals than the rest of the boys, but I mean, the entire team, very impressive so far today. A great representation of the MX region there, and looking forward to watching them potentially give PK some trouble in their own scene. And it's exciting to see them compete against some of North America's probably better amateur or aspiring lower tier pros, I would say. Yeah. And then on the side of Torrent, phenomenal job showing up. And I know it's not the exact roster we see week in, week out, but those players we've seen week in and week out. And for them to all step up and play to that caliber, it just means that hard work is paying off, and continue to put that in because it's obviously a direction you want to be in. Hopefully translating it to more success, we'll figure that part out only in the future.
Yeah, well said. Hard work paying off, and ESA being the perfect place to make that happen. So love to see it. Have a good night, everybody. That's it for us. Let's send it back to Yeso. He'll close the show.
Big victory there for Torrent as they take down Montenegro, once again, they claim first place tonight with a hell of a showing from the squad. Also, can't do anything really but echo what Shyway and Clutch were talking about around Montenegro. They looked really good tonight. Winning losers finals was huge. That was a very tough test for the squad. And now coming in and giving Torrent all they can handle in a couple of series there was really great. So all across the board, great performances tonight. It was a lot of fun. ESA Red and Blue both took big steps forward in their journey tonight. We'll look for more of that coming this Friday, and everybody showed up tonight. So it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did here, folks, as we're going to close out the show. Do want to remind you, we'll be back again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, with our third week of Series E Apex Legends. It's open night competition tomorrow night, so make sure not to miss out on that, because the first two this season have certainly delivered. They've been a ton of fun, lots of great action, and great games, so don't miss out on that. But thanks so much for coming to hang out, everybody. Hats off to you. Hats off to our casters. All the teams came out. We'll see you again tomorrow.